Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Rainbow Six Siege, brought to you by the Nova Tournament, where tonight we have two teams from the lower bracket facing off for you guys to enjoy, sit back, and support the better of two for what you think. But before we get into any of that, I am Elijah Hartz.
And I am KJ Assassin, and it's going to be a banger of a night tonight. You know, this is the lower bracket, but, you know, these two teams, they have faced off, you know, rather recently, and I think it's going to be really, really good. But I think we're getting the bracket up now and can have a look at how the playoffs have sort of played out so far, and can see that the Naughty Sausages earlier, they in the week, they lost to Kill Squad 2-0, and then Bandits also taking 2-0 against Panic. So it'll be Kill Squad and Bandits in that winners bracket semi-final later on in the weeks to come. But we got Trident and Nutty tonight. Now, Elijah, what are we thinking about this game?
Now, we all know how much me specifically, and I bet a lot of other people do as well, that we love Trident, right? But this is up against Nutty, and this is a high anticipated game that I've just been thinking about all week. And for me, this might be the most exciting game that I'm going to get to cast so far, or thus far, because Trident, they've played them before, and they won, right? So Nutty, they have to come for a little bit of a revenge. Like, this is their comeback, you know, they spin back around to try to get Nutty back, because they won against them 7-4. So Nutty, they've got a little bit of an itch, a little scratch that they need to get off their shoulder, you know, like a little bit of a chip. So I'm imagining that this is Nutty's comeback against Trident, but Trident, they're on looking for a 7 win streak in a row. They haven't dropped a game in quite some time, so you can imagine that they're feeling quite comfortable.
They definitely would be. And you know, the thing about that is that Nutty, obviously, back with that game, that matchup, that was a best of 1. With these playoffs, these are best of 3s, so it really depends on how each team is going to play, and if they've got the momentum against each other to carry on through multiple maps. Now, the maps that we'll be going to tonight, I think we'll be getting that up now, and I think there's some good maps that we're going to be playing today, and I think it definitely fits both play styles. But we see that Trident, they're going to ban off Bank first, then Cafe to follow from Nutty, and then it's going to be Trident's pick, I do believe, next. And we get Border.
Ooh.
No, it's a ban.
It's a ban, yeah.
I'm mistaken.
We get to see the picks in just a bit as they unfold in front of our eyes. But an interesting thing to take into mind, though, is you'll notice something about Trident. Every single time, 9 times out of 9 times, they will ban Border. Every single time. Bank and Border. They don't want to play that map. That's something to take into account, because it might be that is Trident's either weak suit, or maybe they're saving that for a better day, you know what I mean? Like hiding the strats, maybe if they are looking forward to getting into the finals, that Bank and Border, that might be their strong suit. So be a little bit careful of that. But we get to see our maps as they're unfolding now in front of us in Oregon. Comfort, which we've seen time and time again. I feel like lately we've stretched a little bit further away from the comfort zone. We're seeing maps that aren't usually played, Skyscraper being one of them, which was going to be the decider of today, but we get to start off on 2 very comforting maps, Oregon and Clubhouse. 2 staples of Siege comp.
Yeah, and I think with that, those sort of map picks, it's not so frag heavy, and in the current meta, it is sort of in that frag heavy meta, so going onto maps that are a little bit more structured, a little bit more strat oriented, it's gonna force both these teams to play it a little bit slower and work really hard on those executes, or shutting down those executes. So being on Oregon to start us off, we've seen both these teams be able to sort of explode when necessary, but they definitely like to play it slow and think about what they want to do. So I'm keen to see who's got the better tricks up their sleeve, Elijah. But in terms of the predictions as well, who do you have down to win this matchup?
Now, you already know that I had to pick Trident. The win streak that they've got going at the moment for them is just, it's adding that spice of pressure, you know. Every single time we see them play, I'm thinking to myself, is this going to be the people who completely end their reign, you know? They're going to stop their victory streak that they've got going for themselves. And I'm thinking about that just now as we're about to head into our game, is that will Nutty be the very first team to knock down these Trident boys? And I just think about it non-stop all the time. So it looks like you've done the same. I mean, Jeff himself, he's gone against us all, and he's gone for Nutty, 2-1.
Yeah, I definitely had a hard thought, thinking process about this one. It's definitely a tough matchup. Like, we've seen the result of a best of one, and obviously Trident was the better of it, and they are on that win streak, whereas, Nutty aren't. But it's a bit of a reset. The main season's over, and it's all down to the playoffs. So, this is where it sort of all falls down upon. And, if you lose this match, I don't think there is any more chances for them. So it's all or nothing, Elijah. So they need to really put in all the effort, everything they've got into it, and see who will come out on top. But you and I both think Trident 2-1. So not a clean sweep. We definitely think that Nutty has potential to win at least one of these opening maps, and we'll finally go to that decider. But it's just going to be a tough one, but definitely worth the watch.
I mean, I'm definitely excited for at least one team. I mean, we are in the lower bracket now, so I'm looking forward to seeing at least one team take us to that third map, because these last 2 play days that we've had in our playoffs, it's always gone to the second map, never gone to the third. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what these players can hold up against when it comes to pacing yourselves, having that stamina set out for you, and seeing how well they can hold up playing so long and so competitively.
Well, speaking of holding up, Elijah, Gluttony's head, he's got 3 caps on and the Stitch little head thing. How does his neck? He's carrying everything on his shoulders right now.
He's got to play a game tonight instead of hitting that gym, so he's got to work up for that neck day. He's got a lot of stuff on his head, and it'll work them muscles. But we've also got Batman here as well. You see Shuri, look at him. Instead of a night out there in Gotham trying to save, all those people who are getting into trouble, stopping those crimes, he's here to show up against our boys at Nutty.
But yes, the band's coming in, though. They're going to be showing up, and we're going to see some interesting ones. We're going to see a Capitao band, Dokkaebi, Azami, and Echo to be the last one. I don't think we've ever seen an Echo ban, but we do know, Elijah, that Gluttony loves to play Echo, especially on a map like this. They usually ban off Smoke, and they play the Echo on that basement site. So maybe Trident sort of looking a bit into the way that Nutty's been playing and trying to counter them a little bit. But Capitao, definitely an interesting one. We've seen it here and there for some of the executes on this map, but maybe once again, it's another dig at Nutty.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
I like the prep. That's one of the things that I always love to see from Trident, is that their work against VOD reviews and just making sure they're prepared before heading into a matchup. It's quite lovable to see. It's very good testament on how their coach works behind the scenes and how much prep they do before getting ready. But a clash coming out, KJ.
Yeah, the clash coming out, and the interesting thing is she now has access to a shield, a deployable one. Obviously, she's always had her shield that she carries around on her back, but she has that shield now, so that's definitely going to be able to help you sort of set up for this hold. And I wonder how they're going to utilize this clash, because once again, this is a site that sort of chokes the time and bleeds the time of your attackers. So if you have a clash as well, it can definitely contribute to doing even more damage in terms of that time department. So we'll be able to see what happens with that. But we're also seeing a gridlock coming out from raindrops.
There's a lot of different operators that they're bringing out. It's adding a very colorful palette on how that they can choose to do their attack and defense for both sides. But it looks like it's an easy side. Small take first, as they already made their way inside of kitchen and dining. Ducko to take the first of the entry, will probably be taking his first engagement as he heads into the big tower. But he's going to be met by Clash and his good old buddy there as well. So it's a little bit of a hard one to make. Thankfully, you do have those frag grenades in your hands as well. First blood to drop. Shuri will manage to take out Ajax. Immediate refrag through the hatch though. Darko with a nice position, ready to pull the team back to that even 4-4.
Yeah, and, it's only 1 minute in, and both teams have found one of the picks. And I'd say that the Fenrir pick, that's quite a detrimental pick. You don't really need Buck all that much on the basement side. There's not a lot of vert to get. But Fenrir, you know, he's not able to utilize switching those activation codes. But there we see it going into play. But Squish going to be the better of that engagement and shut down Pew. And now we're down to the 3v4 as we approach that halfway mark. And Trident struggling a little bit on holding this. And they only have 2 guns up as the clash is still in play. So they're going to play these engagements right and play this time as much as they can. And hopefully not fall victim to one of these nades.
Ooh, it did chuck him off the position though, but luckily he was able to recoup and get that angle back up. He does get into engagement. Shots will narrowly miss though. Unable to connect that shot, taking majority of the damage of that engagement will be Squish, as he has 1 frag grenade left in his pockets now. The Wamai discs have been relocated, so it will help him in terms of holding down this position, but Raindrops is ready to push up close now. Those gridlock mines adding a lot of sound cues as well, but a drop will be done and the rotates will be made. Sweat trying to get active to see if he can bring back what he can, as Papa is finally able to get confirmed. A laundry swing and he'll connect his shot, but not before he gets immediately down. Now Zebby's left onto low HP. The shotgun has been made out. He can't get the res off without it being confirmed. It's 5 HP. Nutty will take the first round though. And what a dicey start to a downstairs basement site. Usually very, very defender-sided. But Nutty's going to flip that narrative in the first round and make a statement. And they're going to retry it again. Nope, kids' dorms this time, actually.
Yeah, no, they don't want to go back to that site. They don't feel like they've got what it takes to sort of stop Nutty in their tracks. They've sort of got their number on that side, I reckon. They've been able to clear that map very, very well, and then just sort of collapse onto the site very quickly with plenty of time to spare. So Trident do choose to go back there in the future. They're going to be sort of wary of that happening. But Kids Storms to go to in this round 2, and they're bringing the clash back, so they think that they can still get some use out of it. It didn't sort of do anything the previous round, but maybe they've got different plans in mind. But we're seeing the Goyo being brought out, the Aruni, which isn't as common as we used to see, but definitely useful.
I'm really questionable on this clash pick at the moment. It didn't work out well in that first round, and now you're doing it on a site that I would say is relatively harder to run a clash on. There are so many different angles and soft floor as well, so you could potentially get frag grenade from below if they've got the frags to spare, but they aren't running any, thankfully, so that'll make it a little bit easier for you, but still a questionable pick.
It is, I think, you know, maybe they're just warming up. We always talk about how, you know, they, both teams, you know, that play always have this sort of warm-up period. So Trident, they're just sort of warming up in this cold weather that we have, and hopefully soon they can have an answer for what Nutty is throwing at them. But we see here that Shuri, he's got the TCSG, so not the favorable pick in terms of running the Vector, but holding that long angle with that 1.5.
And again, that packs a punch as well, but speaking of punches, Nutty will make their first in this round and take out Sweat is early on. Now that was your Wamai being removed, so if you didn't put down all of those discs that you've got set up, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble a little bit later on. But he's gonna run into the clash though. He'll do all he can to slow down Ducko from getting any more control into Master, but he will manage to slip by, make his way in front of that trophy single door. And he's gonna be stopped by one of these Aruni gates. He's gonna have to take a little bit of damage if he wants to get through though, or potentially use some util.
Yeah, they have to sort of spare some sort of util if they want to go through there, but that breach is being opened on the other side as Taz, he's holding this little rotate here. There's a double claymore, so if he swings too far, he will fall victim to it. But the clash is feeding a lot of intel for his team. Taz has got to hit this shot. He does, and Gluttony shut down. No more ace charges going to come from him, but Nutty, they're still sort of stalling out a little bit now. They're just sort of waiting for Trident to make a mistake to capitalize on, but they're pushing into Attic, and Raindrops is going to open up the pick and find Taz. So back to that 3v4 for Trident, and they're not going to be able to hold him out of Squish. He shuts down Pew. They try and find picks by swinging, but nothing to come off just of yet.
He's got to be sitting now inside of his bedroom. He's got the circ in his hands, dude. The ACOG's doing so much work for him, managing to hit the shot onto Squish. and take it down to just a little bit even. Nice little shots off the side, but Zeb, he gets another one onto Ducko. Ducko with a little bit of a refrag though. Gets it back onto Zebi. Now it leaves it down to a 1-1 between Shuri and Ducko. The positions has to be a little bit careful. He manages to spot out Ducko, but no shots to connect just yet. He pushes close, but Shuri will hit the shot first.
Trident. This is what we wanted. It didn't look sort of favorable for them in the mid-round there, but they made it come back with Zebi, I do believe, going huge. Was it Zebi on the Aruni? Who was on that Aruni? I'm pretty sure it was Zebi.
I think it was Zebi.
He went absolutely huge, finding the double there, I do believe, and doing absolute work with that DMR, and Shuri holding his ground and able to find that pick there towards the end and clutching it up for his team. That is the response that Trident need. And they're going to go back to this basement site with that win and hopefully fix up their mistakes from the previous round. They're really loving this Clash pick, though. I want to know why that. Well, we haven't really seen Trident run Clash all that often. I think we might have seen it once before, but this is a different sort of Trident, and maybe they're trying to do something different so that other teams can't sort of read into the way that they're playing. But sometimes it can be too much if you're constantly sort of trying to switch your play style, and you could be unfamiliar with how to play with your team. So hopefully this round they can sort of utilize that Clash a little bit more, because I don't think it's having the impact that they've been wanting. But it looks like Nutty, they're going for this clear again, and they're taking a little bit more of their time here. They don't want to sort of feed any picks or let Trident read into them too much. So they want to take it a little bit slow and ensure that they can clear the map a little bit safer this time. But speaking of safe, Shuri, unfortunately falling victim to Ajax, holding a little angle through the window there. And once again, Nutty opening the round with these opening picks, and it's been so useful for them. But can it result in them finding another round here? Squish coming up to these white stairs, and Taz is the only one left here on this second floor. He will be droned out though, so he's going to be wary of his position now as it is revealed to the enemy team. So he's going to fall off. Doesn't want to play with that idea.
Good early pick as well. I do like that they're making so much time useful at the moment, trying to get that map control and clear out all of these roamers. And they're doing it successfully as well, but it is a good read by Trident in reading into the fact that they need to reset their defense by rotating it off. So good on for Papa for realizing that. He's rotated with his life being unpunished. Now look at the control that has been forfeited. They're doing well at the moment. They've still got a minute 20 left to do a lot of work though, so they might be running short for time, and it's all about how Clash can utilize the shield to add that pressure in terms of bleeding the time.
Definitely, and you know, an interesting thing here is this freezer position from the Clash and the mute, but they're going to sort of fall off and realize that the push isn't really coming from there as of right now. And unfortunately, Squish, he'll be on the lurk though, and he's able to find the mute, even though he was running the shotgun. So just that, you know, sort of reaction time from Squish there, being superior in that situation. 3v5 though, and the time is ticking, Elijah. 40 seconds on the clock, and it looks like another freezer play.
Well, I mean, this might be the strong suit for Nutty at the moment. Again and again, they've taken out 2 of these roamers and lurkers before doing their initial take from freezer across. And there's just so much left for them to do in terms of those frag grenades coming into clutch as Squish, he manages to pop one straight into the members of Trident. And again, the shotgun, the Clash is the last person left every single time. They just can't seem to hold against Nutty. There's nothing that they can do downstairs. KJ, every single time we've done Oregon, how many times can we say confidently that the defending team wins downstairs in basement? Over and over again. We just say it. Like, it's very common. You know, stats will prove it again that downstairs basement is very heavily defended. But Nutty, I mean, they're doing something right against Trident.
They're doing something right, that's for sure. They're changing the narrative, and they're not allowing that sort of idea that it is defender sided. It's attacker sided for them, and they've got that attack down pat in the books. And Trident, they're confident that they can fix these mistakes, and I don't know if this is the right play. Obviously, they couldn't go back to kids, but they just don't want to touch that tertiary site, so I don't know if that's a mistake by them here, because it seems that Nutty on this side, they have Trident in the book. They know their play. They've got the playbook, and they're just reading out of it right now. And I think for Trident, they need to do something a little bit different. They need to surprise Nutty, because they're just aware of everything that they're trying. And once again, they're not switching off that Clash, Elijah. And I think that's a huge reason as to why they're losing these rounds. They're not playing aggressive enough off that Clash. They're sort of just being stale with it. And I think if they sort of start to swing off that Clash a little bit more, it can do numbers.
Yeah, that's just it. The way that they're utilizing Clash at the moment, it is more passive. You're like on the back foot, you're sort of chilling in that freezer hallway just a little bit and just sort of letting them push into you. And you're always the last person left. Your teammate isn't really getting anything beneficial from that Clash at the moment. I like what they're doing. Their extensions, they're playing like a little bit aggressive to maybe get that first pick, but just judging by past things, over and over again, Nutty have gotten that first pick every single time.
They have, and I think if Trident don't allow that to happen and they get the first pick, it can definitely switch the way that the round goes. And I like this adaptation that you were talking about. Goyo utilizing those packs on these sort of choke points and sort of delaying their take, and definitely a smarter play. They're still playing this Clash a little bit aggressive, but no one behind them just yet. I think they're just utilizing the intel right now, but they're utilizing this Fenrir as well, which when you have that Fenrir alive, can do so much more damage and be able to sort of shut down and delay this attack from Nutty. And I think that this is the right idea that they have right now.
Sweat though. He'll connect a shot onto Glut and take it down to a 5v4. So that's the first blood, and that was your Habana being removed as well. So if she didn't already get those hatches open, which you can see E-Box still remains reinforced, it means that they can't utilize that. Not that they have been doing though, sort of directing themselves towards that laundry and freezer specifically in these last few early rounds. Now it looks like the droning is going to be coming out by Ducko, utilizing his fake clone. See if he can spot out exactly where the positions are for the rest of Trident before they make their ways. Now, you'll see Ducko on bottom of Freezer stairs, and then Raindrops and Ajax, they're going for that Freezer push yet again. Now, time and time again, they managed to unsuccessfully hold this against Nutty. Hopefully, this can be the game changer, as there is only one round that separates both of these teams from them getting the even. Now, they need to be a little bit careful of Squish. He is that Nook. He has that lurk potential that could be detrimental for them if they don't utilize it correctly. Grenade to go in will do a little bit of damage to Zebi, but nothing too serious though. Shots being taken off by Ducko, but no kills to go out. Now, as an engagement inside of Freezer, Pew will be able to win his own, but Squish doing a multitude of damage, and Pew is just an explosion all over and a flawless round. Man, I was caught back for my words out of nowhere. Trident just exploding all over them, and it was so hard to keep up with. It was just a flurry of things happening all over my screen, and I'm amazed. This is the Trident that I like to see.
They lost that site 2 times in a row, and then they flawlessed it the 3rd time. So 3rd time lucky is the way that it goes, I guess, Elijah. And they finally are able to close out that round, and maybe it was just the play on that roam, and they found that opening pick, and it resulted in that round win. So maybe that was the deciding factor. And they played the roam a little bit more shallow. They didn't extend to that 2nd floor, so maybe that's the right idea for them going against Nutty. But we're back to this kids site, which they won quite comfortably. Or not comfortably, it was a 1v1, but a lot better than the basement rounds earlier. So hopefully they can get another win here and sort of get that lead from Nutty that Nutty have been able to get every single time. So we'll see how it goes, but pretty much the exact same lineups that we've been seeing. So nothing sort of different. They don't want to sort of surprise Nutty at all. They just want to stick to what they know. We'll see if it works.
Well, that could also be the downfall, because you got to think, did Trident just wake up on their basement defense, or was it that Nutty were just doing the exact same push over and over and over again, sticking with that laundry and that freezer time and time again? That gives Trident a lot of room to read into and sort of guess exactly how they're going to do their take, and that could have been the downfall for that one just there. Or maybe, I mean, we like to think, or we hope to think that Trident, maybe this is where the turn 4 comes.
Definitely could be, but right now it's Nutty. They're trying to go for a pretty, standard take. They're going for that attic control. They're going for this master control. Bit of a split push, but Ajax is on this satellite window, and he's been able to find so many opening picks throughout this map so far. So Trident, they're going to be careful of this. They got to sort of be aware of these positions and these players holding those positions and not fall into the lines of sight and just run down this time. As it looks like Nutty are just stalling out a little bit. They're just trying to find a opening pick, and then they'll sort of explode onto the side from there and decide what they want to do. But looks like Ducko, he's pushed into Master. He's just going to try and utilize that Yana clone to clear those Aruna gates.
Look at the control that has already been taken by Nutty. They've already got control of Trophy, Armory Stairs as well, and they're trying to get control of Attic, which there isn't anything really there that is adding pressure in terms of stopping them from getting control of that. So soon enough, they're going to deal with these Aruna gates. Now, this is a very scary thing to try to take up that main wall, especially when you've got a moot accompanied by that clash as well, because the potential swings from shotguns is huge. It's always going to be at your back of your mind, and it adds that phantom pressure that we talk about. Now, look at Raindrops. He's already made his way inside of Attic. He's got that control. The gridlock mines doing a lot of damage as well in terms of trying to stop them. You're able to shoot them out. The intel is going to be shared. The gridlock is pushed up close on top of the dungeon. The EMPs and the Nomads run away. You turn your turtle shield and you're able to avoid that damage, but the flashes completely blinding you up. Raindrops is already pushed up close, try to take out the Sweat, but Sweat and Shuri are going to find a pick of their own. Not before Ducko has anything to say about it. We'll take it down to a 4v2 now as Papa yet again hits another nice shot with the SMG. Raindrops to find one of his own to take it down to a 3v2, but Clash is just zapping away. He can't seem to find any of those shots off yet. But you need to be a little bit careful as it is a 2v3. You need to be sure of where all the positions of Trident are. As Ducko made his way inside of main breach. You're sort of just playing the time at the moment. Goyo's a popped, KJ. The damage is being done.
Oh no. They're trying to get this plan down. It's absolute chaos as the clash falls, but Ducko falls as well. It's down to 1v1. It's all left to Sweat and Raindrops. He's going to try and bait the plan, try and go for the kill. He has no choice. Sweat, he's not aware.
No!
And Raindrops is able to clutch it out for Nutty. Wow. Trident. They look so good, but Nutty able to close that round out when things look dire. And oh my, Trident are going to be feeling that one, and you can see the sort of smiles on Nutty that they weren't expecting to get anything out of that round. I'm speechless.
It was a mess. It was complete chaos. There were things happening everywhere. Goyos, they're being popped. Flash grenades, they're being thrown. There's just nothing but mags being dumped through the walls. Everybody's down, and out of nowhere, a 1v1 is the situation that you have to deal with. And somehow, out of nothing, Nutty, they end up winning the round. So it's 2-3 now. Trident, one round down from that even score count. I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely wasn't that. Now we're going to have to deal with a tertiary site.
We definitely are, and they're going to go to that meeting for the last round of their defense. And I was confident that Trident were going to win that round. It seemed like they had the right plays and the right idea in mind. They were able to find so many picks off of that clash and get that intel. They found, what, 3 picks there, and then there was a trade with Ducko and that clash, and then it was down to that 1v1. And I think it was just they weren't aware of the positioning of that gridlock, even though she is a bit of a loud character, a chunky girl. He just wasn't aware of the play that Raindrops did, and I think props to Raindrops for making that play and securing the round for his team.
Bomb located by attackers.
But we're just seeing this angle being held by the Kate, and that is a nasty angle through the hatch there onto the Shyco door. So that'll be an interesting sort of angle if Pew can find anything from it. But I'm liking that we're seeing a lot of Fenrir. Definitely a strong operator when used correctly. And on a map like this, it can definitely be the sort of changing factor when swinging and sort of those entries from the attackers. So if Trident and Sweat specifically can swing off of those little fear gadgets there, he can definitely find some interesting picks.
Man, oh my god, Shuri! A nice wall bang to start off the round. I don't know how he managed to hit that, but you can imagine that he's going to be really happy with that one as they try to work back their refrag. Shuri will find 2 in the process though. Raindrops to fall, and already this round is crumbling before Nutty's eyes as they are gone to a 5-3 deficit. Now Ducko doing what he can to work it back. Grenade will be cooked, but I believe the hatch is dropped and he'll be able to rotate away, but it looks like he's sticking there for now. He's able to just chill out, see if he can greed yet another kill. You are Ella. You've got all the fire rate left to do. The intel is going to be shared thanks to the fake clone. But you are so brave for sitting here. You want to be detrimental to your team, just absolutely providing the win. Pew will manage to get a shot. Frag grenade will connect. And already you're back down to a 3v2 as Nutty, they're working it back.
That was a mistake by Shuri there by not falling off, I'd say. And, you know, he found 2 and he wasn't being pressured for a long time. And I think after that drone or that Yana clone was shot, maybe the right decision was to drop there. But unfortunate play there. And Ducko able to capitalize on it. Now we're down to this 3v2 and Trident. They need to lock things out. It is 20 seconds, so Nutty have to go for these ballsy sort of plays, and they're going to do just that. And he's going to drop plant near the sandbags, and he's going to have Ducko on the hatch to cover. So Trident need to be smart on how they play this retake. They are trying to do some impacts, I do believe, but Ducko, he's got the angle to the rotate, and it's all about the decisions. He almost ran into the Claymore there, but Taz able to find Glut. Ducko able to find Zebi, and he's down into a post-plant position. 1v2, low HP. Can he do it? The defuse is going to be ticking down now, and he does get injured and finished off. And Sweat finds the pick, and that's 3-3 at the half, Elijah.
That was I didn't expect that sort of round. Yeah, those 2 early picks, I thought it was definitely going to be Trident dominative. You know, it was really looking dicey there towards the end, though, getting greedy towards kills, not rotating itself off, and then Nutty, they did have a little bit of room to wiggle eventually when they worked it back to just that 1-man deficit, but thankfully, Trident were able to pull it back together, their teamwork just being so crucial there. I like it. 3-3 half, best sort of scenario that you can ask for, obviously without your team, you know, taking that win. An even score of a 3-3, anybody's game type situation. That's what we love.
We definitely do, and these playoff games, Elijah, they've just been so close, and both teams just putting in the all to outdo each other, and it's just this back and forth action, and that's what we want in a playoffs. And so far, both teams are providing, and there can only be one winner though, and especially for map 1. So we still got plenty of siege action to go, but I'm keen to see who will be the victor of Oregon. And with this switch up, obviously defense is a little bit more favorable, but they're choosing the site that, you know, isn't as defender-sided as we like to talk about. But we did see Nutty win 2 rounds on that basement attack. So we'll see if Trident, they're able to do wonders on their attack as well.
One thing to note, that the last time that we've seen Trident on Oregon, their attack was really strong. You know, they might have struggled just at their first round, which is usual what we see from majority of the teams. There are always those first round jitters, but when Trident got their groove, their momentum last time that they played Oregon and they had their attack, they had some really good strats that they were utilizing, especially on this side specifically, the upstairs, when they had that Amaru, which they are running again. Papa was running it last time. They had a really good structured, timed out attack, which worked out well for them last time. Doesn't look like that's what they're going to stick to though, as already Nutty is capitalizing and finding the very first pick, the first blood onto Shuri. Papa taking a huge amount of HP off as well in his own little engagement, but he wasn't finished off or confirmed. He's able to stay alive for the rest of the round, but he is left on just about 40 HP with all of the players on side of Nutty looking quite healthy.
Oh, this is an interesting sort of play here. They've opened up that wall onto that dorms there, so I think that they might be going for a double window play. I mean, Ace, he's got the diffuser here, and he's used that breach to open up that wall and sort of get that angle onto the player into kids there. So I wonder what they're going for here. It looks like Sweat, he's going to go up these wide stairs and maybe, yeah, Elijah, they're going to utilize that Amaru to maybe go through the hatch and do some damage through there. But maybe this is an interesting execute from Trident. We've seen them do sort of interesting takes and interesting plays, so I wonder if it'll work out for them. But right now, it's a bit of a stalemate as we approach that minute mark into the round. I mean, minute mark left in the round, as everyone's just laying in wait.
You can see the Amara, she's made her way on top of the attic balk, so I'm going to guess that she's going to try to go through. They're going to gong 6 the window as well, flashes to go through. He's ready to try and take attic. The positions aren't given. Papa's managed to hit the shot onto Squish though, and that'll even things up back to a 4v4. You've got 40 seconds left to work. He is watching the jump in from attic, so Papa needs to be a little bit careful of that, but he remains on the main window. Nothing to go out just yet. Sweat is ready to find himself in an aggressive play though, but he immediately gets picked up, and 2 kills get handed to Nutty and take it down to a 2v4. Now the plant's getting down out of nowhere. Zebby to find a kill, but Glut's not going to let it slip. Take it down to a 1v3 now, and he'll find 2 for himself. And Nutty capitalize and take themselves around for the first half of theirs.
Wow. I mean, Trident, they had the right idea. It was definitely an interesting play. I think it did work in the early stages of it, but it wasn't enough. And unfortunately for them, Nutty were just able to collapse back on them when the plant was going down, and then they actually stopped the plant from happening and coming to fruition. So for them, I think on that attack, they got a little bit to work on, but, you know, it's not entirely out of the question. You know, there's only 1 round difference now. And like you said, especially on an attack, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to warm up. You know, get those engines running and start getting into the groove of things. But right now, we're going to the basement, and we've seen Nutty do so well on the clear for this and be able to execute so well against Trident. Can they do the flip side and do the exact same thing? Or are we going to see a dominant defense from Nutty here on Oregon?
By the looks of things, Trident look like they're going to be taking a different sort of approach to what we got to see Nutty do now. We've got Papa running that Ying. You got the support as well by the can openers that Ying brings with the X-Kairos, right? You've got the EMP, so judging just by the lineup that they have, you know, they've got the smokes on Twitch, the Yings, the lion scans. It could be just a traditional E-box around play. You know, you try to go for that bunker, try to grab those back stairs, make your way, toss all your candelas down this E-box hatch, and just absolutely create a huge fluster of chaos for Nut to deal with. That all depends on these early kills that go out. That Squish, he could potentially crumble it all for them if he gets an early important pick.
Well, yeah, we saw how Nutty were able to get the opening picks on their attack on this side, and it definitely influenced them winning those 2 rounds. So I think if Trident, if they can find their opening pick on the attack, it definitely will be able to help them going down onto this basement and save a lot of time. But the thing is, we're already into a minute of the round, and they're still holding this first floor. So they've got to be careful. There's actually 3 players. Is that 3 or 4 players on that mid floor?
Yeah. I mean, it could work out well. Maybe they can get some early picks, but it'll be traded to Trident instead. And they'll find themselves the very first pick. Ducko as well on the Ella. That's not a gun you want to lose this early on. The Candelas are getting popped already, KJ. This might be it.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, I think he was utilizing it to stop anyone running up those stairs, but Darko, he was getting a little bit antsy and chose to run into this main lobby, which luckily for Trident, they were holding that down for a long time, and I don't know if that was an impact that got rid of it or if it was the Habana Kairos that got rid of that Twitch drone, but that is rather unfortunate. Now, they've got to be careful with this E-box hatch, Elijah, because we saw the double K coming out from Glut earlier when he was setting it up, so they got to be aware of these positions and shut down it if they want to be able to open it. Now, they did just that, so they know where it is. They know the positions. They know where the EMP, so good homework from them, but they didn't detonate the Kairos in time, and that is not what you want if you're Trident. They
I
did
mean,
find
they
a pick,
are in
though.
a 5-3 though. This could still work if they just rely solely on just fragging them out. But on a basement side where the crossfires are just everywhere, you need to be a little bit careful. You're going to have to utilize your util correctly enough to isolate those gunfires to win them out. And you can see that coming into effect as the trades are just left, right, and center for Trident and Nutty at the moment. The C4 is going to go out to try to make it easier for Gluff, but no picks to go. Damage to be done. Nothing serious as of yet, though, but the swing from Papa is what clears him up.
Definitely
a superior
better
round, I gotta
attack.
say. Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed. That was better for Trident.
Definitely was, and I think, you know, unfortunate for Glad he finds the 2 kills in that round for his team, but he can't do it all. You know, we've seen him do it before, but I think that is a bit of a what would we say? Just a situation that can't be won. I think, you know, the nades, him having to reload. You know, Cade's quite old. You know, he can't run too fast.
Need some WD-40 on the elbows.
Yeah.
Use them
But
up.
like Trident, Elijah, they're confident. Nutty are confident that they can win this site. I mean, they can't go back to that Kid Storms, but both teams just confident that they can win this site. So hopefully it's not deja vu for Nutty and they lose another basement round, because that would be rather unfortunate. But Trident did look very, very strong on that attack.
Yeah, they looked like they knew exactly what they were doing. Now,
10 seconds left.
on that though, I did feel like Nutty were a bit shaken and scattered around, and they
5
didn't
seconds left
really
before insertion.
know where they wanted to hold. Like, I feel like Trident made it really, really hard for him that round specifically. So maybe this one they can be a little bit more prepared, because Ducko did try to cross over to get down those laundry stairs, and that was where he lost his life. So if he was a little bit more prepared and he knew it had that info, I don't think Ducko would have lost that fight at all, or even lost that early on. So maybe that they come into this round a little bit more prepared, that they can show up against Trident and give them a little bit more of a harder round.
Yeah, like you said, I think it all comes down to how they play this. If they don't run into the lines of sight of Trident, they can definitely run down that clock even further and maybe even find some picks and force Trident to push into them rather than them pushing into Trident. So right now, it looks like Trident are doing the same sort of take. They're clearing this floor from that master double window side, and they've got that second floor control. Now the job needs to be done to clear these players out from the first floor. Now they got the Wamai holding down his security. He's already taking out drones, so if he's able to even find a pick here or another drone, he can definitely fall off, and that would definitely be worth for his team. So I think, you know, the halfway mark in the round is coming, but you see that drone there, like that's a cheeky one. And that's going to feed a lot of info to the team that there's a Legion and a Wamai here in security.
Yeah, they look like they're dedicating to it. And look, the info was shared. Shuri to hit the shot onto Ajax, and that's the very first kill in the round. Now Squish is looking to get a retake. They're not aware! He'll find 2! And he'll be able to get back down as well, completely unpunished. And they're going to be able to read into that and reset their defense altogether. Now, that is a huge kill to make. You'd imagine that the hype for him, the confidence is just insane, as you took out the X-Kairos, which could get those freezer hatches and that E-Bax hatch open, which was used last time. But you got rid of that global utility that Sweat brings as well. Now that leaves it down to only 3 members left, and Trident and Papa, he's got the diffuser in his hands and he remains on these back stairs. Now he's got 2 smokes, some candelas left to use, but it looks like they've hit a little bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Yeah, and I do believe those Ying candelas did hit the electrified wall there, so they did stop in motion. So he wasn't able to push down the stairs, but he still has 2 in hand, and the smokes are going to be coming out now, so that's going to shut down his push down. He still has another 1 in pocket as the second one just gets detonated there, but Shuri, he finds the second in the round and able to shut down Squish. He finds a triple onto raindrops, and all of a sudden, Elijah, we're down to a 2v2 as Glove finds 1, but Taz with the trade. It's all left to Ducko in a 1v2, but he's got a shotgun in hand. He has to whip out the pistol. Plant's going down, 1 second left, and now he's got the shotgun. He's going to swing wide, but do some damage to Taz, but Taz holds his ground, and Trident, Elijah, find the round once again. It's deja vu for both teams on the basement.
both of these teams being well rehearsed and thought out in that basement defense that it seems like the attack just can't keep up. I mean, the defense can't keep up, sorry, as I switch that around, but do they try it a third time? That's what you got to think. I mean, usually you're very used to this being the strong side, but I feel like in this matchup, you can't play downstairs.
Defenders protect
Yeah, both teams just struggling so much to be able to confidently win that site. I mean, you know, Trident in their third attempt won it flawlessly, but with the way that these teams are playing, it seems like on the attack, they're just able to clutch it when things look like it's not going to go their way. And it definitely did not look like that was a Trident round, Elijah, after that double kill from Squish. But somehow, Shuri was able to find 3, and I do believe that was from Freezer Stairs. So he's just hitting his shots and being a huge impact for his team. So I think props to him. And they're 1 round away from that match point now. So this is a huge, impactful round for Nutty. If they can win this, it ties things back to that 5-5. And then the next following round will be the decider to who locks in that match point. So if Trident can win this, definitely a comfortable position to be in. But still a long way to go.
Hopefully they can deal with these Cades. They haven't got any EMPs to do so, as Zebi has switched for those flashes instead of those EMPs. So they're going to have to solely rely on working out exactly where these Cades have been placed. Maybe utilizing these frag grenades or just finding it by shooting from up below. But it looks like they might not even need that at all, because they might be doing a direct double window take.
Yeah, well, interesting to say, Elijah, is that they've got the OCE this time, so a little bit of a change in their lineup. I mean, they have the sledge as well, but I'd say that's just for the nades, but because you're not really going to be able to do too much sledge work on a top floor site. So I think with this OCE shield can definitely have a huge impact, but they see there, Elijah, they actually have vert on that double window jump in. So if anyone's playing down there, they're going to be careful of that potential to be fragged if they jump in. So just a little bit of a slow round for Trident, though. They're just sort of figuring out what they want to do. Taz here on this balcony outside Big Tower, just holding this kid's window.
Well, this is exactly what Trident are good at. They're used to getting that info and then making their execute in the last few rounds. Now, it looks like Papa trying to get as much info as he can on someone potentially lurking, and he'll be able to find Ducko in due process as well. Hopefully he is able to rotate away safely. Now Glut managed to rotate himself down these white stairs to hold that vertical that we talked about earlier, so you won't be able to do that double window jump in until you have cleared him out. Now this has gone down to clearing off the map now, so a little bit too worried about these potential roamers. Now you've already got the kitchen hall control as you jump through off those candelas, but Shuri will be able to find a kill in the process. But 2 on the side of Nutty though, as Ducko and Squish find picks of themselves. Sweat to return though, and it's already back down to a 3v3. Ryan, that a 2v3 now as Squish finds a pick for himself, and the proxy mines are just giving away the positions, but Squish is down in the process. Ducko is low HP, so it's just a 2v2. You've gone back. The diffuser is being left. It would be down successfully. Need to be cautious now, because the confirms will go out. Sweat will hit it, and it's a 2v2. One is still down. It's all left to Ducko, but a nice shot from Ducko will make it even to a 1v2. You're able to pick up your teammate. Now it's all down to dealing with this last member. Pew will hit the shot onto Squish and leave it to a 1v1. Now Ducko's really low HP. There's only 19 seconds. Be careful of the holes!
Oh,
you weren't
no.
ready! Does he have enough time? A triple for Ducko. He will jump it, and he'll be able to get that defuse easily, I would say. Maybe a few more seconds. It's really close. Yeah, I have 3 seconds to spare. Trident, what happened?
It seemed like they had that in the bag, and they definitely made a questionable play once again. They loved that double window take, and you know, 2 of them pushed up those white stairs. They lost 1, but then they were able to capitalize down 1, and then Sweat was able to find another. And it was just left to Ducko in a 1v2, but he found the pick into the white stairs, res, and then traded eventually back onto that player on OCE. So that was a rough round for Trident, and OCE just wasn't aware of those footholds, Elijah.
I don't. It looked like he was really tunnel visioned there, and he couldn't seem to. Maybe he forgot about it altogether. I'm surprised that there wasn't really enough usage of the OSA shield that he brings. You had one to sit behind, but it just wasn't used in the end. You would have had the cover from the bunk bed, the cover from the OSA shield, but you've gone for the gunfight instead. You exposed yourself to those footholds, and that just gave Nutty the round. So we're back to a 5-5, anybody's game, but this could have been your team having that more advantage of a 6-5, of a 6-4. Sorry.
Yeah, you've just lost the ability to secure that match point and, you know, potentially win the game or secure that overtime at the very least. So now we're back to that 5-5 and it's anybody's game, and Nutty playing off of that win, it could definitely affect the mentals as we approach the later rounds. So hopefully Trident, they can sort of band together and, you know, continue to win rounds as well. But on this tertiary site, it's an interesting one. I'd say that it's not necessarily attacker side. We've seen a lot of attack round wins on this site, but we've also seen a lot of defense round wins. So I'd say it's more of a balanced site because a lot of teams don't know exactly how to defend it or attack it as much as the other sites. But it all depends on these on this opening engagement, I'd say.
Well, you've got those OSHA shields to help. You need to be a little bit careful of those impacts that we are seeing just roll out that Ducko has in his pocket. That could be the crucial key to changing up how you can defend this, because these OSHA shields are a pest. It creates such a problem for needing to either take this attic control or remain just on top of that stage. Now, a huge chunk of HP getting done to Papa by that last impact. So I believe that's both OSA shields that have been destroyed.
I would believe, unless he's already placed them down and they're in play already, but the EMP is to go out, but nothing to connect on that wall of stage, so he's not going to be able to open that, but he's already used his ace charges elsewhere, so maybe they used it for the hatch, or I don't know. But a minute 15 on the clock, and Trident, they don't really have anything to work with here. They've got the attic wall open, but pushing this wall alone is a bit risky, so they've got to do something else. They've got to find a cheeky play, maybe down Green Hall or somewhere else to divert Nutty's attention. If they're all pushing from this side with little control, they're not going to be able to do it. But I eat my words as Shuri. He is pushing from the other side and he shuts down Squish. Now Nutty's attention is to where is this knock, and does he know that he's coming through there? Zebby able to find one, Shuri to find his second, and they're not aware of his lurk, and Ducko's going to try and make a play, but Taz is there ready for it, and it's all left to Ajax stuck in the bomb, but no. Zebby finds it, and a lot better round from Trident there on this tertiary side, Elijah.
It's just, it's always when you don't expect it. You get the caster curse, things just come out of nowhere, just completely blindsiding us, and I feel like it was a little bit of a lure in, right? Everybody's attention completely faced on that stage and the attic. They're just holding angles and just waiting for Trident to push in, and out of nowhere, Shuri is on the lurk. Finds so many picks, diverts the attention, the explosion from Trident completely catching Nutty off guard, that out of nowhere, in 0.1 seconds, it's a 4v1. And now you have to go back downstairs to the basement site where Trident completely crushed you 2 times in a row.
Yeah, they're sort of just moving around now. They don't know what they want to do, and obviously Trident, they secure that match point, and it's just, we talked about it earlier, Elijah. Trident just love to, you know, take the entirety of the round to utilize, and it didn't look like they were doing all that much, and it is a risky play to rely on the knock to sort of open up the round for you, but the fact that it works and they play off that is what makes them play so well together, and the fact that they play well as a team in that aspect is absolutely huge for them. So I think if they can do that once again on this basement site, you know, run this a 3rd time round and continue to dominate on this basement site, they're going to get this map in the bag for them, and definitely be confident to go in the second. But I'd imagine Nutty, they've been doing pretty well to hold their ground when things are looking pretty, you know, risky. So I think if they can also pull something out of nowhere, we'll be into that overtime. And once again, the playoffs in overtime, Elijah, go absolutely crazy.
There's just so much pressure, and you can see it again. Shuri, he's going for that lurk again, and I'm thinking just like now that I'm like really zoning in and thinking about Shuri specifically and the knock plays that had been brought out by Trident, it has worked so predominantly again and again that this might be the weak spot that Nutty have, is just the lurk that knock brings. So leaving that alive, I mean, we're used to seeing a knock ban constantly, but leaving that knock available, that could be a problem.
It definitely can. It just opens up so much opportunity. I mean, you've got nades in pockets, and if you need, you can run EMPs on that knock, but that ability to just sneak around and not be detected by cameras is absolutely huge, and sound is such a pivotal thing in this game when you can utilize it like the way that Shuri's doing. It's just catching Nutty off guard, so if he can continue to keep this up, he can definitely secure this round in the bag for his team and take them to this map too. But still, a lot of work to be done. They've only just got this first floor control, and there's just over a minute left in the round, so they sort of got to speed things up here, get their act into gear if they want to be able to execute on the site anytime soon. But it looks like Nutty, they're just locking in, they're locking down, and they're not going to let anyone through. 5-man bunker right now, 50 seconds on the board. Can they hold this attack from Trident, or are they going to just charge on through and march their way to victory?
Well, it's gonna look really dicey in these last few seconds, as it looks like they're timing their execute all together. You know, they're gonna have all of their util completely dumping, maybe Candelas as well, to try to catch them off guard. You can see it just happening. Smokes are being distributed. Candelas to be thrown. Papa will be downed in the process, but I confirm it's still yet to be done. As Shuri falls again, Squish able to connect the kill onto that, but 2 on the side of Trident. The yellow shotgun comes out by Ducko to completely sweep up Zeb, and the downs are still being rescued. A 3v3, 11 seconds left. Freeze is going to be dealt with. Ducko will be the man behind that shot, and there's 6 seconds left. Diffuser still needs to be down, and it's only him left. They are aware of the position. Pew to try to connect, but they're playing the time. Nutty winning their first defense in the basement, and you can see the sighs of relief from all of them.
Yeah, I think, you know, after... So both teams, so after that sort of rough round, the round prior, they were able to secure it out, and I think a lot better round from them. They didn't go for any risky plays. They sort of just played downstairs in the bunker. I think they might have shot a few drones here and there to deny Trident's clear, but they just... Both teams, Elijah. Third time lucky on the basement. What is this game?
I mean, look at that pattern at the moment that we've got for attack and defense on both halves at the moment. So it was just, in that very first half, it was just trade. You know, one round was given to Trident, the next round was Nutty's, and there's just so forth for that entire first half. Now, thankfully, you're able to break that trend, Trident getting 2 round wins for themselves, but we've gone back to that trade narrative that we're seeing, and now that we're in that overtime, is it going to happen again?
Well, Trident, they get to go on the defense, and, you know, it doesn't really say anything, though, because we've seen both teams go 3-3 on their respective sides on, you know, attack and defense. So it really isn't, you know, a testament to say that, oh, they're on the defense, you know, they should have this round in the bag, because both teams have been doing so well on attack, but also doing so well on the defense as well. It's just been even across the board, but they're going to go do something that's been so risky for both teams. They're gonna go downstairs, Elijah. They're bringing this clash again. So
yeah,
third time lucky for both teams. Is it a fourth time lucky for Trident on this basement? I mean, they're running the same operators as they've done previously. Will it work?
I'm just wondering what the thought behind Zebby running this Clash is, because I've seen him, like, on his first half when he played Clash over and over and over again. I did see that he was picking up kills, but I didn't see the impact that Clash had brought in the round. So I'm wondering what they are dedicating it specifically for, and whether it has really any huge cost in the round, or maybe it might be a better choice for Trident to maybe swap that out for a gun. And already the first kills to go out of nowhere. Squish, he's able to connect onto Papa. Now that's your Wamai, so you could already guess that all those Wamai discs that he has yet to use, they haven't been distributed. They are still yet to load in, and he tried to go for a spawn peek and was shut down. So that's a good testament on how prepared and ready that Nutty are for the Trident aggression.
Yeah, and you know, this is overtime. You can't be making mistakes like that, because this is where the rounds really hurt, and this is the rounds that really matter. And being the first pick on this basement side, I'm pretty sure they only won their third basement defense when they were the ones that found the opening pick. So if this narrative stays true, Elijah, this should be a Nutty round, and this will be the first time in a little bit that Nutty will take the lead again. So I think that Trident's going to be careful.
We've seen them come back out of nothing, Trident, before. In deficits, we've seen them just explode out of nowhere thanks to their timing and structure that they bring. It's still doable for Trident.
It definitely is, and they're sort of switching up these Fenrir gadgets, which is just so versatile, and you're just able to use them so well. So Shuri making the best use of that and getting ready for the execute that Nutty will be bringing shortly. But Warden on these freezer stairs, denying any intel to come through. Ajax to open up this wall here in security as they're trying to make it a little rotate, I'd believe, so that you can sort of get around quickly. But he's going to utilize the second can opener to open up that freezer hatch, and they just love this freezer laundry push. It's definitely been working out for them, so why not continue to do so? But maybe Trident has that idea in mind, and maybe they're ready for it this time, as Zebi, he's playing below the hatch, ready to zap anyone that drops down. But 52 seconds, and both teams just love leaving these executes till the very last second, but they're all pushing to the other side of the map, Elijah. They're all five are on that big tower bunker side, so they're switching the narrative once again as they start to push through bunker here and into elbow. Sweat to fall down from Ducko, and it's down to a 3v5 as they push on through.
He's trying to make his way outside of the elbow, but they're all there, Shuri! You're going to be completely firing squatted upon before Puri's able to get a pick of his own. But immediate in Trey, there's Nutty completely sweep up what was left of Trident, and they'll take themselves, for the first time in a little while, their leadway against Trident.
Nutty definitely happy about that round win there, but Trident, once again, that clash just isn't paying dividends for them. They're running it. It's just not working. And once again, this clash was the last alive there, Elijah. So I just don't think the basement is the play for them. And I don't know what the communication was from there, but they definitely thought that they had it. But now they're on the back foot. Now they have to win this tack. And then we have the potential to go all 15 rounds again. We've seen this happen in previous playoff days from other teams. Will this be the same case here for Trident versus Nutty on map 1? Or is Nutty gonna win this 8-6 here as they're on the defense? And they choose to go up to the kids. So I think smart decision from Nutty here, Elijah. Definitely a better decision in my opinion. But I still believe that Trident might have a trick or two up their sleeve.
Yeah. I gotta say, from what I've seen so far, I think that Trident's strong suit is definitely on the attack side. So it is completely doable that Trident wins this round, and we're gonna go that full distance that we love to see over and over again. But you can imagine that the pressure from both of these teams is starting to sit in and settle and get into effect as... it's just... even I'm starting to feel the pressure from both of these teams. You need to be a little bit careful about these early picks, because last time you tried to get aggressive, you made a mistake, you lost the man advantage this early on, and that already cemented the fate of what was left of the rounds. Now, you don't want to be that person who falls first, right? We talk about it every single time we hit some of these overtime match points, so you got to kick yourself so hard when you're that person who falls first.
Yeah, losing that pick is just so vital. And in a game like Siege, where it is an FPS at its core, but you know there is utility available for you and abilities that are unique to operators, but at the end of the day, it's all about those engagements. And if you've got one man down, that team that has that man advantage should have the advantage going onto their executes. So, and it has sort of stayed true for the most part in a lot of these rounds, but we have seen rounds come from nothing and come from deficits. So we can't count any team out, and we have before, and things have turned for the better for the losing team in terms of the man count. So it's always a tough one. But Trident, they've already pushed in through this small tower here, trying to get this control. Taz to open up the round, though. He's able to shut down Ducko, who's someone that's been a staple for finding so many picks, him leading the frags too, and he's going to be down for the count. But Ajax was able to shut down that knock from Sweat, and it's a bit of a trade. But it's not the usual one on the knock. Shuri is usually the one on the knock, and he's on the Yana. He's still alive. He's the top fragger for the side of Trident, and he is still in the running. So can they make use of the control that they have gotten, or will they fall victim to this play from Raindrops creeping down the stairs? He is spotted out, and Taz able to shut him down. So this is huge from Taz. He's found 2 so far. Can he continue to do some damage and help his team secure this round? He's going to be swung from this games, but he finds a triple. And now it's all down to Squish and Glut. He does fall, so it's down to a 3v2. Gluttony firing some pot shots. C4 to go out. It connects onto Shuri, and now we're down to a 2v2. Gluttony on low HP. Squish on 80 HP. Oh, 30 seconds, Elijah. I don't know if my heart can take much more of this.
They've slowed down. They're trying to go on the back foot now. Squish, though, with a nice shot onto Zebi. We'll take it to a 1v2. You have to clutch it back. A 1v1 now as Pew manages to clear up Glut. Now there's 17 seconds left in the clock. You need to slow down a little bit. Think about the decisions that you're going to make, Pew, because you're about to keep your team in the loop. And a trade from Nutty Gaming. Oh, no. Trident. They managed to fall in the end in what was a very, very close, hard-fought round of Siege. Nutty will prevail in the end and clutch it out to an 8. KJ, I was off my seat. I was in the air.
My arms were in the air. The fact that that round ended in a trade speaks for itself. Like, that just, it sums up the entire matchup, this entire map. And wow, they win 8-6. You know, they came back from not being on that match point. They were able to get themselves into that overtime, and they just completely dominated in that overtime. It was rough in that last round there, but they had definitely a dominant attack in that first overtime round. And I'm completely taken away. I'm out of breath. That was just crazy. Crazy game to kick us off here.
I mean, I'm taken aback as well. I mean, that round was really, really close, and there was so little room left. I mean, both of them were relatively low HP as well, but Trident, unfortunately, they aren't able to collect it up in the end and keep themselves in the round for yet again. We could have seen it a little bit closer, but it's not a BO1, it's a BO3. We've still got 2 more maps for you guys to sit back and enjoy, but that was Trident's pick. Oregon was Trident's pick. So, I mean, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see you lose the map that you picked specifically. But the next map, I believe it was Villa, if I remember correctly. Or Clubhouse. No, it was Clubhouse.
It was Clubhouse.
Yeah. So that's another staple of Siege as well that you can imagine that both of these teams are comfortable on. So, I mean, it's anybody's guess what the next round could be.
Well, before we go to a break, I mean, maybe this is a bit of a rival series, Elijah. Maybe each team is going to take each other's maps, and then we're going to go to that map 3, and it's going to be the decider on Skyscraper. So I think it's still anybody's game. Nutty, they won that map, but, we went all the way to overtime, Elijah, and the rounds were so close. So I think, Trident definitely shouldn't have their heads down. It's definitely still doable and definitely still in the books and possible for them to win this series. But, work needs to be done. Nutty have that advantage. They can sort of be a little bit more comfortable. But any last words before we go to a quick break?
That'll be all it for us. So if you guys are excited to see a very high anticipated game of Clubhouse next, feel free to come back in just about 5 minutes. But while you're there, make sure you stay safe and stay hydrated. We'll see you guys soon.
See you guys. Welcome back, everybody, for the second map of this series. I'm KJ Assassin.
And I'm Elijah Hartz, and my god, what a first game that we had. Oregon 6-8. Now the scores indicate that there was a 2-round differential, but it was a very, very close. It was so close for both of these teams. Trade left, right, and center for the first half, second half, and then again into the overtime. It was just back and forth for both of these teams. So hopefully that set the narrative and the pace as we move over into Clubhouse for both of these teams to see if we can go to that eventual third. Now that would require that Trident win Clubhouse altogether before we go to the third map, or will Nutty just look to shut it down completely here? Now, an interesting thing about Clubhouse, KJ, is Trident have banned this 6 times, and Nutty have only banned it 4 times. But Trident have won this map before, and it was against Naughty Sausages, and it was a 7-5, but Nutty have also lost this map. And that was against Bandits, though, which are a quite prominent team on Clubhouse. and that was a loss for them. So, I mean, it was a hard matchup, but I feel like Trident, they have the capability to pull it back here. This isn't their pick. It's Nutty's pick. So, yeah, it's anybody's guess.
It is, and a map like Clubhouse, it definitely plays a lot like Oregon. It's, once again, another staple of this Siege comp pool, and I think it definitely favors the way that they play. And if, once again, that knock is available, it can definitely sort of favor them, because they've just been able to utilize that operator so well. And I think on a map like Clubhouse, you can definitely do some damage with it. But, you know, they're going to be on that defense first, and I think for the most part, Clubhouse can be pretty, you know, a little bit more defender side than it is attacker side. I think Oregon, I'd like to say, is a little bit more balanced than Clubhouse. But for the most part, a lot of people know how to attack this map too. So I think it being Nutty's pick, they probably have a good grip and a good understanding of how they would like to attack it, especially, you know, being in that one map advantage. They know how to take on Trident. You know, and Trident are going to be having that thought in the back of their heads that they need to win this map. So first bans to go out though, Habana. That's a very strong ban, able to open up those hatches no more. You know, not for from the comfortability of those window repels and whatnot. So gonna have to rely on those can openers or thermites.
That's it's definitely going to versatile. You'll push it a little bit more. Dokkaebi to follow up as well. Those calls aren't going to be a problem for you, thankfully, which is a huge issue for those roamers, especially on Clubhouse specifically, where you need to clear that top and middle floor, especially if you're downstairs in that armory as well. We've seen a lot of lurk potential that happens, so having Dokkaebi up is a huge issue. So getting rid of that is definitely going to make it easier, especially for Trident, as they are the team that starts out on defense first. Now Solus, that will follow for the first defensive ban, and it'll be Intel heavy defended.
It will be, and we can see Glut once again just making that tower hat even higher, and hopefully he can secure, you know, help his team secure this victory overall. But Azami to be the last ban, and I'd say this is pretty strong bans across the board. You know, Dokkaebi, a staple of a lot of attacks for a lot of teams, and able to roam clear very easily. So with that off the board, a lot easier to have that roam potential. I think that's what we're going to be kicking us off here in round one, as they go to that Church Arsenal and they're bringing that Vigil, so a little bit harder to deal with. And if you run that line, Vigil has the ability to run around when he's getting line scanned and not be detected. So maybe that's the idea here. Maybe they think that Nutty will be running that line, but so far they aren't. They're running the Ace, they're running the Thermite, as they don't have access to that Habana, but probably running the running some EMPs maybe. I mean, there is no Cade, so maybe the impact trick is going to be coming out from Vigil, but I'd imagine he'd be on the roam, Elijah.
I remember the very last time that we looked at Trident and how they defended Clubhouse. They were very heavily reliant on those impact tricks, but usually they bought a Maestro last time as well, or somebody else with some pocket impacts that helped them. But yeah, I mean, you're right. They've only got impacts that are on Vigil, and he's remaining upstairs to see if he can slow down the initial take from Nutty. Maybe get an early pick or two before you can reset your defense, but that's really reliant on that you don't get easily picked up by these potential roam clears that you can see Ajax is already trying to do. He's Buck, he's got the skeleton key, and he's able to make his way inside of the spa double wall, sorry. Sebi's there for the pickup though. The drones are going to go in, and thankfully, to your ability, you can sort of dodge those drones. Narrowly misses the shot though. Unfortunately, the kill, you'll be able to get away with it. You're unpunished.
He was able to get the drone though, so the line scans do come out though, but he is visual, so I do think he got detected as he ran out of that ability. But like you said, he was unpunished for it. But Nutty, they're making quick work of this clear. They've cleared everyone from this second floor. Now they have to worry about the first floor, as they do have someone on that main stairs. But Ajax has got a nasty angle there, but he's not going to be playing it any longer. So Taz could play here quite freely, but got to be careful if anyone returns to that angle. But drones are going to go out, and he is going to get spotted, I would believe. But there is a mute jammer there, so maybe they're just not aware of it. But mute jammer's going to get shot, and now his position, I believe, would be revealed as the drone gets shot. The C4 to go out though. but nothing to come of it just yet. Halfway through the round, still a lot of work to be done from Nutty.
You did pull your defense forward a little bit to see if you could delay Nutty, but it didn't feel like it had any cost in terms of slowing them down from taking that map control or getting any sort of control at all. C4s were distributed, nothing to connect though. Ducko will still remain on a 100 HP, and there's still a minute left for Nutty to get their execute working. Now the can open is being used. The ace charges being opened up as well to see if you can get these armory hatches open. The E-box has already been opened as well onto Moto. Look at all of the positions just completely spread all over the map. Nutty are ready to explode. Now there's only 46 seconds left. This is where it all comes down.
Yeah, we're about to see chaos unfold as Ajax opens things up of the game and of the round as he finds Zebi. That's the visual sort of lurking around, but Raindrops, he's coming through dirt here. He could catch somebody off guard. Darko's able to find two though onto Taz and Shuri, and I do believe Raindrops, he's going to be spotted out in that dirt from that Fenrir gadget, but Sweat and Pew all left to clutch this one out as it's 15 seconds left on the clock. Plan is going to go down though. Sweat finds one. Can they find all five? No, they only find the one, and Raindrops and Squish find picks of their own. And what a dominant round from Nutty though, Elijah.
Denied the flawless, but in the end, you lost the round. So, really dominant. I feel like you try to dedicate a little bit to the roam, instead of bringing those impacts like we talked about earlier, which is what we've seen Trident do before. They really like their impact tricks, but for some reason, they didn't really want to lean into that round. And I feel like that was a little bit of a misplay. I mean, not slowing down their push enough meant they had all the room in the world to collect intel on you all the time as well, to just collect intel on you, figure out where you are, and just completely collapse upon the site, and it was too much for you to handle, clearly. Now you're forced to go upstairs into the master bedroom.
Yeah, and I think running this mirror, let's hope that it's able to sort of do something for them. As, you know, the mirror is available. I think if mirror is available, it's such a huge and decisive operator for a lot of rounds and a lot of sites on this map. You're able to sort of just waste the util of the enemy team, especially because they don't have a Habana. So they're not going to be able to clear the mirror as comfortably as if it was a Habana. You're able to do a lot of damage as a Habana to mirrors, but with that not available, a little bit more difficult. So I think that it's just default placements on this lodgy and bathroom wall. And if they can play this right, especially on this cash roam, they sort of just waste their time. You know, try and waste some util, maybe get a pick or two and fall off. Trident could have this gym round in the bag, but it is all dependent on whether they are the victors of the opening pick, I would believe, because that's been the narrative so far, Elijah.
Well, I'm liking the hole that they've set up for themselves. Good usage of those new blockers that have been added, those drone blockers, the intel blockers, to force them to peek into you instead. And it's already coming into effect as Trident picking up 2 early kills as well. Garage control has been forfeited and given up to Squish, but he has to be a little bit wary of where these last players are. And there's the observation blocker coming into effect to stop you from figuring out there is somebody top red, but you're able to go through it, find out his position, and he just needs to play that waiting game now. He's able to cross though back into cash without being picked up and reset his defense as you're on that 5-3 advantage.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. They find these picks or two, and they got 2, and they're all full HP across the board, so they weren't punished for it. Now you just can run down the clock. They have to take engagements where they should be at the disadvantage. You know, if you stack up, you play off of each other, you win this day in, day out. Now, it's all left to Nutty to sort of find those players that are in these solid positions. Castle's got to be careful. And this is what I'm talking about. They're not able to play a trade. And this is the picks that Nutty need to be getting. And Zebi, he does take some damage from that mirror. I don't think it's reinforced. So they were able to shoot the feet of Zebi there. And, you know, it's not enough to be significant, but definitely enough to push him off of that mirror and be a little bit more cautious of his positioning. But the time is ticking, Elijah. 50 seconds on the board. And once again, Nutty are doing really well to try and isolate these players, try and get picks on the players playing by themselves. But Squish is going to go on this little boost angle, see if he can see the mirror tucked away there, but he should know that the nade didn't connect, so the mirror will be elsewhere.
Well, they've got so many C4s left to do as well. Squish falling off of the ventilation on top of the logistics hatch is not where you want to be, and you can tell that Trident heard the fall as well. And Shuri's gonna go, Sweat, sorry, is gonna go collect up that kill and take it down to a 4-2. Now you've got some pre-play C4s below as well, and Sweat's able to detonate it and collect the kill. Leaves it down to a 1v4 for Glut, and there's so much left to ask for as Zebi is waiting for you inside of Logi.
It's just unfortunate, you know, for Nutty. They had the right ideas. It's just that that opening pick with the 2, it was too much for them to come back from.
I think they had the right idea. They were doing really well in isolating the members that they had left of Trident. It really started to like fall apart when you lost that ventilation player, when he fell off the roof. I feel like because you were only one man down, I feel like if you were able to utilize those frag grenades and potentially win your engagement when you drop that logistics hatch, that really would have put Trident in a rough position. But unfortunately, the misplay was there. Trident capitalized on it and got themselves an easy round. Now they're going to be forced to go back downstairs where they lost last time, but difference and a little bit of adaptation coming out from Trident is that this time they've brought more impacts. Yeah, you've got the Vigil still, so you can imagine that he's going to do the same roam as last time, but at least you have Pew who's running that Capcan, who has 2 impacts in his pockets, as well as the trap capability in terms of slowing down and taking some HP early on off of the members from Nutty. But they do have an IQ.
I don't know if you saw that though, Elijah, but the cam in that bathroom actually spotted Zebi crossing over. He wasn't using his ability, so they're going to be aware that he is in this strip area. And you can already see that they're slowly going to be trying to push him, or... Oh, no. We had the same idea.
That, yeah, I was like, no way you try that. I mean, I liked it. He got up way too fast for him, though, so Zebi is going to be forced to rotate back. Looks like he's going to dedicate himself to this lurk, as the drones have already been flooded throughout the map. Hopefully he's able to miss drone some, but Ducko, he's already in construction. He's got these clones here ready to make sure he's got some space and some cleared up as well. He's already cleared out of this construction. Hopefully they've got that master control drone set up as well, as Squish has made his way inside of the bedroom. Doesn't look like they've done too much droning though, as the pre-fire still remain. But look at the IQ, utilizing that ability so well to spot out where that Vigil is. Now, that's a huge problem for him, because if you dedicate to this roam still, you're going to be tracked that entire time.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful about that. So I think that's the right idea, falling back to the site. You know, you sort of ran down a lot of time, you know, almost halfway in the round, and they haven't actually cleared Sweat here, Elijah. So this is absolutely huge. If he's able to stay there and sort of flank a little bit later when the time is ticking, and, you know, Nutty are in that situation where they're not going to be worrying about the flanks from upstairs. They're going to be worrying about the flanks from maybe the basement. So if he's able to play his cards right, he could definitely find a pick or 2, or maybe even all of them. But will he be the dagger in the back of Nutty, or are they going to be aware of it and the flank will come too late? But
KJ, they haven't got can openers on Buck. They've got the ace charges as well, but we all know that 2 ace charges can only take 1 hatch, so you have to pick whether you want Moto or Kitchen, or Moto and Stock.
Yeah,
and
maybe they just...
Maybe they stop it.
If they've already put 2 on there, then it's not going to look good for Nutty. They're not going to be able to open the hatch, and then they're just forced to push downstairs and funnel through doorways. Well, Glut, he doesn't have any ace charges left, and they're just pushing on through. They're going to go through short. Pew is ready here on the Moto door, but he realizes the hatch is open, but he still falls to Ducko. But Zebedee to find the trade. And now we're down to that 3v4, but they're going to be careful. as Nutty are going to be galloping on through, and Raindrop's able to take down Taz, and they're just not aware of these positions. The plant's going to go down in Arsenal. He's able to find Ajax. He not able to find Raindrops in dirt, and Raindrop's able to shut down Shuri, and it's just bodies dropping everywhere, Elijah, and that was a bit of a misplay from Trident.
Ah, man, it looked like it was so well thought out. Especially not having those can openers that Nutty just denied to bring. The impacts were still up. You denied the ace charges, I believe, from the kitchen, unless they managed to get it somehow, which, I mean, if you had those 3 impacts, 1 on Vigil and 2 on the cap can as well, I mean, what else did you really use it for unless you dedicated it for those rotates? But it looked like it was so well done. It looked like it was already Trident's win, but I guess the capability from Nutty is still showing as they're just ready. Refrags, the communication, not a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely not, and you know, being on this defense, I did say that I'd like to think that it's a little bit more defender favored for the most part. So Nutty, even though it is their map pick, they're just looking so confident on their attack. You know, there is only 1 round difference between these 2 teams right now, so it's not like Nutty are doing anything too crazy right now, but they're definitely on the way there, and Trident can't let too many rounds slip out of their hands, because after all, this could be the final map for them if they don't win it. So they need to start locking in and banding together to ensure that they take this victory rather comfortably.
And we all want to see a 3rd map, right? Like, I mean, maybe not Nutty. Maybe they're looking to shut it down, like, completely, as you can imagine. Like, having that 2-0, it looks good for you. You managed to get in and out as quickly as possible in a BO3. But all of us here, we want to see that 3rd map. So we're begging on Trident to take us there. 1 round separating. They have the capability. Ducko's managed to find himself in showers, but Sweat, you're unaware, and you're able to lose that engagement as well. Ducko picking up nice and early, and that puts it already in Nutty's favor.
It seems that they've sort of swapped with the lurk potential. You know, Trident, they did so well in Oregon with their lurk potential, but this time on Nutty's map, they're doing so well with Ducko. They're able to sort of catch so many players off guard and not aware of their positions. So you know, it is this cash CC site, so even if you are down there, you need to be aware of these positions of attackers pushing down to below and trying to clear you out. But unfortunately for Sweat, he just wasn't quite aware, and no intel to help him out. So it's all left down to Shuri, Taz, and Zebi and Pew. So never mind. I eat my words. Ajax shuts down Shuri, but Pew does find Glut, and that's the ace off the board, so no more sort of charges to come out from him, but there is a Thermite still on the board, and they do have the comfortability of being able to heal with that dock, so, you know, him being the medic, able to heal his teammate to that full HP, but they actually have this cache open. It's a little bit harder to push, but Taz with the swing, and that is a very, very good pick to be getting, and definitely could change the tide in the round, but right now, it's a 3v3 and both teams are stalling out, but Raindrop's patience is his key skill there, and he was able to find the pick, but now it's up to Squish and this Legion engagement. I think if Zebi wins this, definitely could be doable still for Trident, but if he loses it, it's all left to Pew, and I think it's a little bit hard, but he's actually on the lurk below. Pew, can he get a cheeky C4 if they push on through? Legion able to find the pick, he's able to swing and get the one on Sui as well. That's all left to Squish on the breach. He's got to sort of just play it safe, though, because Bandit is not there to refrag him. He is below the breach, but he's got to be careful. But Zebi, even though he's on that low HP, he finds 3.
When it all looks dire, Trident will prevail. In Trident we trust. It looked like it was undoable, but oh my god, when you least expect it, the caster curse will kick in, and you'll find yourselves back to that 2-2 even score count for both of these teams. My god, that's not what I expected.
Definitely not, and you know, Trident, just by, you know, that little glimpse of hope that they had, they held on to that, and they were able to carry it out into the round win, and I think that was definitely a round that they need to keep them in it. 2-2, we're back to that even scoreline. We're back to this gym site. Can they find themselves in the lead and start to be on their journey to getting this map win? Or will Trident have a response?
It's looking so close every single round by both of these teams. You know, when it looks like it's swinging in the way for one, a clutch is due, and then out of nothing, it's completely switching up. You can never really guess with both of these teams, especially by the trades. I do believe that, I guess the trend from both of these teams is that each of them can't take 2 rounds of it.
They can't.
But
you know what they get
on
take?
fire.
Duggo.
Every single round.
Every single round. Yeah. I don't know if that's just Trident not aware of the way that he's playing, but he's just playing with the intel off his team. You know, he's doing his job. Not only is he getting that control for his team so quickly and efficiently, but he's finding the opening picks for them. So they're able to slow things down and really lock in and figure out what they want to do next with the control that they have been given. But they've already got this cash control too, and this is not what you want to be giving up so early in the round. You know, there's not even been a minute, and they have all of this control available to them, Elijah.
I like the change in hold that they did as well. Shuri with a nice kill to pick up Squish, but in terms of change in what they've done is they've actually reinforced that mirror that they had last time, which is going to slow them down a lot more and add a lot of comfortability behind it. But you can see the angles have been opened up by Nutty to add so much pressure onto anybody potentially trying to play that mirror. So you're forced to go back into logistics a little bit more. Now with logistics hatch being open, it makes it a very hard position to play. And you can see the information by Ducko being shared from the rest of his team thanks to the live droning that you've been able to clear out that section, but the C4 gave him a false sense of security. Zebi collecting the kill onto Ajax will take it to a 4-3, but Ducko made his way inside of logistics to try to get the refrag. Glut's there to connect the shot. Zebi will fall to his engagement and take it down to a 3v3. Ducko to push from Con. Glut to pick up yet another kill. A Sweat to try to take it back, but not enough. Nutty will clear up the rest of Trident.
They just persevere and they just keep pushing on through and not letting little picks here and there stop them on their road to winning this entire series. And Nutty, they find themselves another win, and Trident, they're going to take this time out. I think that's a good idea before, you know, the half switch up. They can talk about this last round here on the defense so that they can secure this 3-3 scoreline. And then they can talk about how they want to deal with the way that Nutty's playing, because it's just not working. It's not clicking for Trident right now. And I think they need to work out what they want to do going forward. Otherwise, they're going to let this map and this series slip from their hands. And like we talked about earlier, Elijah, there is no second chances for the lower bracket. It's all or nothing. And if they want to continue through this playoff series, they need to win this map. So this Trident timeout, absolutely crucial on how this goes in this next round. If it pays off, or if Nutty are going to play into the fact that they know that Trident are looking grim.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Well,
as they
something
can.
needs to change. Because I'm getting so much deja vu from Oregon, which is what they just played, is Nutty won the first round. And then from then it was just trade after trade, you know, round after round, it was just somebody else took the win. And in the end, Nutty were the people who won Oregon. So you need to change the pace, get yourself some rounds. Otherwise, you're just going to find yourself getting the exact same result last time, which is not what we want to see. We want to see that third map. So I've got my fingers crossed and I'm praying that they can take this win. But yeah, it could be completely switched up out of nowhere, because we've seen time and time again that both of these teams can clutch up when we least expect it.
They all have the potential to do so. It's just whether they have the will and the sort of soul in them to do it and carry it out. But last round on the defense for Trident and last round on the attack for Nutty. Whose round is it going to be? Are we going to see another 3-3 half and another sort of close game, or is one going to take the lead here? Just Nutty, let it be Trident. I want to see a third map. I don't want to go to bed knowing it was a 2-0. You know, I don't mind if you win. You've been playing so well, but give us that third map, you know.
it's a trend at the moment to take teams to that second map and then just completely finish them off there instead of taking us to that third map. So it's exactly what Nutty are looking forward to do, and they've got the leadway to do it as well, as they find themselves one above, and they're looking to get that 4-2 split instead of that 3-3, which is what Trident are begging on at the moment. Pew already getting a C4 kill, which is huge. What usually is Ducko or at least one member on the side of Nutty getting that early pick, it will be traded back this time and completely change the narrative. Now that's your Buck player, which is huge for this site. You do have those breach charges that Squish can supply, but you've only got 3 of them, and that's not enough in terms of how much soft destruction that Buck brings thanks to that skeleton key. And you're forced to melee out these castle doors, see if you can get one. But I hear another C4 being detonated, nothing to connect from it.
Yeah, they still have one more C4 in the hands of Valkyrie, so they're just playing off this intel really well this round, and they're going to use both ace charges once again to open up this kitchen hatch, so they don't really have anything else to open. You know, even if that Buck did have can opens instead of flashes this time, they're not going to be able to utilize it as he has been taken out, but the nade's going to do tons of damage to Pew, and Ducko having a huge impact on this game and in this round, but can he find the secured pick to really open up things for the round and hopefully get it back to that 4-4? But we're running out of time, Elijah. 50 seconds on the clock. They've got so much util and so much time to sort of run down the clock for Nutty. And if Trident play their cards right, they can definitely do some damage. But Taz is actually going to go down. But Zebi with the trade back. Raindrops is going to find Zebi. We're back to a 3v3 if Taz isn't picked up. But Squish is going to be taken out by Pew, and Shuri to be finding Raindrops. It's all left to Glut. We've seen him clutch before. But 19 seconds. There's a shotgun on those main stairs. Glut, don't run into it. He finds the better of that. One's in low HP, the other's on about half HP. Can he do it? 7 seconds on the clock. No, it's a bit too much to ask for the hard support player, but Taz able to shut it down. And Elijah, we do go to that 3-3.
Now, I guess you can be happy about that, right? You can say, yes, a 3-3 split. Trident, Nutty, even score. We can go back to that square one, you know, reset everything. But this is exactly what happened last time. So you can't be too excited about it, because last time it didn't work out for Trident. So it can happen again, because this is Nutty's pick again. This map, this is what Nutty wanted to go to. So you got to keep it into account when you think about being on that 3-3 split. Will Nutty be more comfortable on their defense than you? Or will Trident, will their attack be as aggressive, maybe even more aggressive than what Nutty's was on their first half?
Definitely something to think about, but, you know, this team, Nutty, they're going to open up with the gym bedroom site, so, you know, it's not an unusual site. We do see this site sometimes being opened with, but definitely not the same sort of idea that Trident had, so let's hope that they can adjust. They are switching off that Capital to that Thermite, bringing 2 sets of hard breach. And they're actually bringing a Thatcher, so just in case there's any denial, which there is, there's a mute jammer. They're going to be able to open up these walls a little bit easier, and they're bringing a Brava. So I wonder what they're going to utilize with that. You can hack those Fenrir Fear gadgets that we're seeing be deployed by Ajax here, but you can also hack the mute jammers as well, but nothing really else you can utilize apart from default camps.
Yeah, I think the main objective there is either trying to hack all those BPs that they're bringing with you, or like you said, maybe those observation blockers and those Fenrirs as well. That is a huge pest to deal with, especially when you're trying to take on top of those red stairs now. Gonna have to try to deal up with these utils, as they've already gotten CC main wall opened. Squish and Ajax dedicating themselves to holding this side first. The observation blocker is providing a little bit of safety in terms of intel for Ajax, but he is going to remain on this CC double wall. See if he can find an early pick for himself. Hopefully they don't play too aggressive, because this is Thermite. Losing him early on is not the position that you want to be in.
Definitely not, but Zebi, he's going to charge on through into garage and start to get this control from this this south side. But they got to be careful, because I do believe there's one down below, so potential to push up here onto Ajax is definitely imminent. So they're going to be careful of that. as the round is getting to that halfway point. Ace charge to go out. Going to be shot out, actually, from that person playing in con. So that wall's not going to be opened. And Taz going to charge on through, but Shuri with the trade as Ajax found Taz. But Shuri was able to shut that Fenrir down. But Zebi to find Squish. And it's starting to swing in Trident's favor. And definitely some frags to sway it into your favor as the grenade takes down Gluttony. Potential C4 off the board. We still have the C4 from Ducko. Raindrop's going to jump out. He's going to catch Pew with his drone camera in hand and catch him off guard. It's all left to Zebi, Sweat, and Shuri. 54 seconds. They've got plenty of time to work with, but they've got to be careful of the way that Nutty's going to play. They're going to play a little bit more aggressive so they can even up this man count now.
Need to be a little bit careful of jumping out of Sui here because Raindrops is ready to pick it up. It looks like he's aware of the position, but you can't win that gunfight. 2 on the side of Nutty will take it down to a 1v2, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Nutty will secure themselves their first defensive round with ease.
I don't know what the play was there. They knew that the castle was near that window, and he still chose to jump out, so bit of a misplay there. Definitely a hard fight to win, so I think maybe they should have, you know, squatted up a little bit more, played off each other, go for some refrags onto that player, rather than playing it solo. All 3 players were sort of split from each other and not able to find refrags where necessary. So a bit of a misplay from Trident, especially going into the first round in this half. Having that 4v2 and them completely winning it, none of them were all that damaged all that much. That's a huge kick in the guts for Trident.
And that puts you in a really rough position. I mean, hopefully you're able to work yourselves around a little bit better on your attack, but it's looking dicey at the moment. That was it's like he had so much control and Trident just didn't know what to do with it. I'm still taken aback by knowing that they had castle in construction. There's no way you did a pre-fire on the window. You still tried to take that engagement. It's maybe a lack of communication.
It's something. They're just not clicking. It's not working out for them right now. They need to find that common ground again and sort of work off of each other. So they can find that click. They're definitely in to be back in this game and back to win this map at the very least. So, you know, it's still early days. A lot of time to work with, a lot of rounds to play around. But if you're Trident, you don't want to lose any more rounds. You want to sort of win from here on out.
Well, they're going to have to deal with the extension that Nutty have given them first. There are a lot of lurkers yet. Now, you've got the info as well, sharing it, knowing that there are 2 players upstairs, Ducko, as well as Raindrops, I believe it was, making his lurk up there, making them known. See if they can get an early pick. Now, the new gem is getting in the way of sharing that intel on where Ducko is playing, but Trident are well aware, and they're looking to get their pinch going. Sweat remains on the gym, but it looks like Ducko isn't budging. They can't get the angle. He's just burning out the time for Trident, and he's going to be forced to maybe go for construction and get an easier angle. Now, we've opened up the window. Looks like Ducko is aware, and he's trying to prep a little bit of a jump out, but so much time and so much man and util dedicated to just clearing out this one person, and he's rotated off. In the process, you found one of your members down. Shuri, he hasn't been collected up yet. Raindrops will be able to do it in the end. And all of this time wasted, not a single member of Nutty has been dealt with.
Yeah, and the thing is that they just don't have the manpower. They need to either take the site or choose to collapse on all these people upstairs. They're just so split right now, and they're not doing anything to shut this down. So Zebi finally able to find one and shut down Gluttony, but Ducko to find one, Pew to find one onto Ajax. They're sort of just exploiting onto the side here. Raindrops was able to find Taz as well. Now it's down to a 2v3. Make that a 2v2 as Ducko goes down. The plant's going to go down as well. But Squish able to find Pew. It's all left to Zebi. He is sort of fragging right now. Can he find all of them? He downs another. He finds all
Zebi!
Wow! Zebi That is what your team needs. Holy. Utilizing that DMR to shut down and bring down 2 and then finally clean up the 3rd and eliminate all 3. That was looking rather scary for Trident there, but they made something out of nothing, Elijah. They just decided to go for the site directly. They've got all these roamers. Let's hit the site. Let's go for the trades. Let's get the plant down. And then, I don't know, let's rely on Zebi to get a 3K. Like, you can't be depending on that man to do it all the time, but damn, did he do well and look composed doing it just then.
I mean, currently sitting on double digits of 13 kills. If you give Zebi the right amount of ingredients, he will make a condiment of absolute punishment when you give him that 2x scope and the DMR that packs a punch like that. I mean, look at what it did to Nutty, just absolutely tearing them apart, left, right, and center. Their extension doing so much work in bleeding time, but it didn't matter in the end. Trident will find themselves back to a 4-4, and they're looking to change the pace completely. Now, like you said, you can't rely on players like that to clutch time and time again. You know, you need to be in this together. It is a team heavily reliant game, not a solo one.
Definitely not, but it's sort of the same story for, you know, the opposing side. You know, Raindrops, he's 12-4 right now, so it's a little bit of a battle between Zebi and Raindrops, both of them showing up for their team, and it's just a frag fest for them. So who is going to be the victor of this round as we approach towards that match point? It's 4-4 right now, 2 rounds to go for both teams to get there, but these next few rounds are so vital in that sort of decision of where this game's going to go, Elijah. So we got to be careful. Ducko does take some damage. He's on about 70 HP. It looks like they're doing a little bit better to shut this down from Nutty. Their roam isn't as strong as it was before, but it looks like, once again, they sort of just got that pressure from Taz on that jacuzzi wall, but for the most part, they're still pushing down below. So maybe a similar sort of play from the last round is going to occur here, Elijah.
I mean, we've mentioned it time and time again that if there is a very large extension on these sort of maps that... Oh, no! You weren't ready for it. You'll be able to collect the confirm as well. Ducko taking out Pew, and that was your ace as well, which is detrimental for this round. You've still got 2 can openers and the Maverick as well, so you have the right amount of utility to still use. That'll help you get what your initial plan A was, but losing that man advantage is not where you want to be. Now, there's still a minute 20 left. I'm getting nervous. The height, the pressure is starting to work, and like I was gonna say, if you manage to get into the side before the roamers, 9 times out of 10 you might be able to collect that win, but it's just before my eyes is falling apart for Trident as they're just getting peppered left, right, and center. They've already lost Pew, and the damage is being done to Sweat in turn. Now Papa and Shuri with a quick drop of the hatch, and Shuri will find 2 in process. Leave it to a 4v2. Now as he's entering the side, Shuri! He finds a triple, but Squish will shut him down and take it down to a 3v1. Squish remains inside of Moto. He spots the person on top of Moto Hatch, but he can't connect the shots yet, and he will remain on the back foot, but Sweat will clean him up and win themselves and take the lead for the clubhouse matchup.
What is happening, Elijah? Trident are going absolutely ham in just those quick decision plays. They make these quick decisions. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to drop the hatch. I'm going to try and work something here. And the whole team's playing off of it. That's what we want. That's what Trident needs. And look at the little pattern here. Once again, I swear this exact same point, Elijah. Trident won 2 rounds in a row. This is deja vu. This is deja vu right here. Now, Trident, I don't know what's happening with those decisions or who's making those calls, but it's working. And even in those moments where it all looks like it's going to fall apart, it somehow works out for them. So they need to find those little pieces of Nutty's defense that crumble when they sort of do those Nutty plays. So I think Nutty taking that timeout, that's a good time to take this timeout. And let's see if it does wonders for them like it did for Trident. Trident took that timeout and they won 2 rounds in a row. So maybe, just maybe, it can do the same for Nutty. But Trident, once again, are 1 round away, Elijah, from that match point. And this is just a repeat of Oregon, I swear.
It feels the exact same, with a little bit of struggle from both of these teams on that first half. Just back and forth over and over again, and now we've switched sides completely. Again, it was a little bit of a trade. Now, Trident was the first team on Oregon to completely switch up that narrative and win 2 rounds in a row, and that's going to carry over into Clubhouse again, like we just mentioned. And I'm a little bit nervous for that deja vu that we are getting, but maybe Trident, because like we said, this is their strong suit. Attack, they are very favor over their defense by the looks of things and just by what we're seeing. So they can win a 3rd round here. It's not completely out of the question. I know we talk about deja vu, but maybe this is just where Trident sit comfortably. Now, they did attack Master Virgin before. I don't know how well. I can't really remember how well they did, because it's just so exciting. So many different things happening. But off of my memory, they weren't able to win it last time. So they need to be a little bit careful in how they choose to this time. Maybe a little bit more communication needs to be done, especially in terms of those players inside of construction, which is not what they did good at last time.
Yeah, I think they were in a 4v2 situation on this site last time, so definitely a side that they're strong at, but the decisions in the late round is what affected and ultimately lost them the round. So they need to be careful of that con play, which was Raindrops. He was the staple of that round, so they can shut him down, or at least not do the same sort of plays that they did last time, where they sort of fell into his hands. They can definitely win this round, but the drones are coming out. It's just it's the same story for this defense. They need to realize that Nutty aren't really changing the hold all that much, and they're just playing what they know. They're trying to keep themselves in this just as much as Trident is. And I think if Trident sort of find those picks again, they can definitely prosper here. But it looks like for the most part, Sweat, you got to be careful how long you hold those nades to. He's going to take a lot of damage from that, but he's still alive. So, you know, luckily you don't have that embarrassment. But they do have that cash control, so they don't have to worry about any of that. And Ajax is getting that info from his fear gadgets on where they are pushing from. But he only has 1 code left, so only 1 of those gadgets can be in play now. And now that that one's shot, I don't think he has access to any more. So no more fear gadgets to come out. But we're approaching that last minute, and Pew finding the opening pick, and that's the Raindrops. That's the one that found it last time, but he doesn't find 1. He finds 2 onto Squish, so that's your alibi. Another really, really good fragging operator, and it's all left to Darko, Glut, and Ajax now. But they're just holding this angle. Pew is sort of aware that there's one holding him on this window. Who's going to be the first to have a little peek and see what's in outside or inside? And it looks like Pew is going to be the first to move. Ajax is just a statue here. He knows he's there. He's going to pre-fire a little bit prematurely. But can he find the pick? He's going to sort of fall off there. He doesn't want to risk his life. But 20 seconds on the clock, Elijah. They need to start finding these picks and start to get these plants down. Otherwise, it's going to be a nutty win. Darko and Ajax to find 2. Ajax is stuck on this engine. He's able to find 1 as well. Glut to find 1. And what is happening?
Yeah, time and time again, it's just Nutty being able to prevail on that master bedroom and gym side. I feel like Trident, they do a really good effort in clearing out these roamers, taking control of Garage, making their way into Cash and CC. There's no problems there at all. This time they did a little bit better in getting that very first pick. This time they did a little bit better even in working their way into construction. They utilized that thermite, the exothermic charge that he brings to open up that wall to completely chuck Ducko off of his position. Ajax, I believe it was, sorry. And then they got control of construction, but when it comes to those last crucial seconds of the round, the crossfires and the positions, the communication that Nutty have, Trident just can't seem to deal with it, because they're funneling through these windows and pushing in through those single doorways that they've got no room left now. It's just not working out for them. They need to try something different if they choose to hold that side. But we've returned back again, and the narrative will continue for both of these teams as we're to an even 5-5. A trade yet again. Deja vu continuing from what we've seen before, KJ. When will it end? The cycle, it's just completing.
We promise this isn't scripted. It's not scripted, I swear. We are just as surprised that it's going the way that it is, and I think with this hold from Nutty, it's a little bit different. We saw that the con wall, Elijah, to Logi was completely Rio'd. So they've dedicated Rios elsewhere to sort of deny Trident from taking that side. But we've been in this situation before. And if this is deja vu all over again, then this would mean that Trident win this round and then Nutty win the following. But I don't know if it's going to go the same way. 5-5, whoever wins this round secures that match point. This is a vital round to win. Probably the most important in this map entirely. But Capital smokes will go out. But nothing is coming of it, Elijah. They used both Capital fire arrows and they didn't gain anything from it.
They left the bandits there. It's not like they had any EMPs or anything to use off of it. So, I mean, that util all wasted for nothing. Ajax will take a huge amount of HP off of himself as he tries to get into an engagement outside of construction. But Papa was there on the rappel, ready to pick up the kill. But it did elude him and he's able to get away completely unsatisfied. Now, they're trying to utilize these ace charges. But Duck goes there for the bandit trick as it was muted prior. So, one ace charge has already been fallen. You are unable to get that main wall. You're unable to get construction. You're going to be forced to go from gym across and rely on solely on these single doorways and picking up these frags. But what we've seen early on again and again and again is that Nutty are really good at waiting for you to join into their kill box, and that's coming true already as Raindrops will find their very first pick into this round onto the hard breacher of Pew. Now that's not a good position to be in because now you're solely reliant on the exothermic charges and that single can opener that Shuri brings you on Capital. Now Papa has made his way inside of construction and he's looking to get this wall open, but the mute jammer will still remain up. Papa will pick up the kill onto Raindrops, and that's your Cade removed who was lurking below. Now they're going to be able to open up the construction wall, but Bandit is there. He's going to be able to trick the exothermic charge, and he does it so successfully. You've only got one more left. C4 to be thrown. Sweat will take a huge chunk of HP in the engagement, but nothing to connect just yet. Just peppered blows back and forth.
Yeah, both teams just sort of just trying to get that, not secure that itch, you know. The both of them want to peek so bad and get these picks, but for Trident, they all have to funnel these windows and funnel these doorways to make anything of it. But the fear gadgets are paying off dividends. Zebby able to find one after Glut and Duck found Papa Taz, but no, it's just too much for Trident. And Glut and Raindrops, they were able to secure some kills.
Yeah, Fenrir absolutely being the pinnacle of that round, blinding every single member of one of those people who tried to push through that cash single doorway, and you got to see it in the end for that very last pick, is that he was completely blind. He couldn't even tell where the shots were coming from. There was too many directions, and in the end, it cost them the round. Trident now struggling, as both of them have collected and changed the narrative of 2 rounds in a row.
It's just, this is now a different sort of fairy tale. This is Nutty taking the match point. So now Trident are on the back foot and are forced to win this next round. Otherwise, this will be the end of the series, Elijah. This will be GG all across the board. And Trident will fortunately go home empty-handed. But there's still one more round at the very minimum to be played. And they can definitely do it. It's definitely doable. They're on the basement site. We've seen them sort of attack this site and prosper even when it looked like they couldn't. So if they can work together, they can find something. It's doable.
I mean, if you look at the history and you look at how things have been going so far, usually it's a trade back and forth. Trident got their first 2 rounds in a row. Nutty now have their first 2 rounds in a row. None of them have collected. So unless Nutty are looking to change that narrative and secure themselves the win altogether and completely send Trident home, then this essentially should be Trident's round to win. And we'll see how that works. Now Trident, they are very comfortable on the attack, like we said over and over again. So this should be their win. And it's already happening. Sweat taking out Ajax has one of your roamers already dealt with in the first couple seconds of the round. You've still got a minute and 15 seconds left to clear out the map and get your initial execute underway. Now you've got all the util to use up as well, as you've got the can openers opening up some pathways so you can get control inside of Jim in that master bedroom. The EMP is being supportive and dividends of that. Shuri with a nice turn to pick up Squish, and the kills are just getting fed to the side of Trident at the moment. Glut losing a huge chunk of HP in his engagement, but the information is just being shared. He needs to peel off, but there's so much pressure left, right, and center for him to deal with that there's just too much left for ask for. Now it's all left up to Ducko and Raindrops, and he's checking out that jukebox instead to see if he can get in the right mental for this potential clutch that he can hope for. It's a 5v2. Raindrops will remain inside of dirt, and they're just
there was one
on the
behind him.
back foot, looking out for these drones sharing off this info.
I think there was one lurking down in the dirt behind him, or at least nearby, and I think this engagement, it could mean the difference between them clutching it and them losing this round. So he's aware that there could be somebody there, but the incandescent is going to go out. But Trident, they have so much time, they can't let this slip from their hands. But Ducko, he's able to swing off of that nade, and he finds the first pick on the way for this comeback. He shuts down Shuri, a very prominent fragger, but Sweat able to shut down Raindrops there. But Ducko, he's expected too much of him, and Zebi able to find the pick through dirt, and we're going to overtime, Elijah. It's happening once again.
As we get to go to round 13 overtime, this is where we want to be. That is a very different round for Trident. Their attack is just so perfect. You could tell how overwhelming it was for Nutty. So they're going to have to see what they can do yet again. Because now we hit the overtime, Trident get that attack again, which is what they're so strong at. So this could be Trident's chance to completely take over and get themselves ahead.
But if you look at the site, it's that CC site, so they struggled with it the time before. So they're bringing that Cade, that Mute, and the Bandit, which just proved just an absolute nuisance for the side of Trident. They didn't utilize those Capital's fire last time. You know, they only have the Wamai, and if you do it early, he only has access to 2 very, very early in the round, potentially 3, depending on how long you choose, take to set up. So if they can execute what they want to do very, very quickly onto that main wall, they can get it open quite easily. You just need an ace and a thermite at the same time. And the Bandit, he can't trick both. Cade can definitely help, but with a Thatcher in play.
I think, yeah, they've got a Thatcher. They're not trying to waste that time like they did last time, because they didn't have the Thatcher, and that is what was crucial for them. They were completely in a stalemate, and that forced them to take these doorways and windows, which is what chewed them up last time, especially with Ajax, who was running Fenrir yet again. That was a huge problem for Trident. So luckily this time, they've got 2 hard breaches. They've got the can openers as well that Shuri provides, and they've got Thatcher as well. But is Thatcher going to throw his EMPs? Looks like he's able to get it. Look, main wall has been opened. Let's go Trident. Easily off to a really good start in the first couple seconds of the round. Still a 5v5, no picks to go out just yet, but this is a good start.
Definitely what they need to make this round a little bit easier. They have an extra option compared to last time. They don't have to walk through doorways. They have a whole ass wall to walk through if they would like, and they're starting to open up that garage as well. Ducko does stop the second sequence of that detonation, so it's not going to be a walkthrough, but they have enough to sort of utilize to pressure that person on garage. And I'd imagine that they don't want to go for a contact this time. They want to go for a garage CC breach take, and it looks like they're going to do exactly that, as there's only the Wamai here to deny any nades, and he's stuck. He has to stay prone, otherwise he's going to find himself victim to that person on the breach. So they got to be careful here. But Pew, they might just walk in, Elijah.
I mean, they could go for a pinch here because Shuri is making his way under the bottom of garage. C4 to go out, but nothing to connect. Shuri will remove Wamai from play, and garage has been forfeited. Look at the fire all across the catwalk as well. He remained inside as well. Ajax is on the look. The drone completely missing him, I believe. I don't think they're aware of the positions the yellow ping is giving out. The player pushing into garage. He's narrowly missing the kill. He'll find himself down in turn, but he is playing the slow game. Sweat taking a huge chunk of HP in his engagement. They're looking to get his friends up though. Raindrops to connect the kill onto Papa with 50 seconds left. Ajax is a crucial moment here as he tries to get the down. He does it, but he'll have to be able to get away safely. Ajax getting away, unpunished for that movement as well. Pew looking to watch for his rotate out. 34 seconds, KJ. This is where it all comes down. Pew will be able to connect the shot onto Ducko. They get down to a 3v2 now. The plant is going down. Raindrops doesn't have a C4 for it, but he will remain in the side and make sure that he is tucked safe. Tries to go for a quick swing and a nice shot by Raindrops onto Shuri, but immediate refrag by Zabby will bring it down to a 1v1. Last person is outside of the site, waiting to play the time. He's going for the repel, but you're going for a little bit of a long arm tuck position. Pew getting a little bit of damage onto Ajax, but nothing too serious yet. Ajax just swing out onto the early pick and he'll hit the headshot of the third kill in the round, and you'll be able to get the defuse as there is still 17 seconds left for you to do so.
That is so unfortunate for Pew. He didn't play it smart enough. He was letting the bandit run out on him. If he just repelled down to stop Ajax from sort of being able to only run out a little bit. That's so unfortunate for Trident. They did so well to get that plant down and work their way around that site and clear that garage player, and they just slipped through their hands. And now, once again, in the overtime, Elijah, they're on the back foot. They've got to do something. But now there's more at stake. This is it. If they don't win this round, it's game over.
It's looking like it's the same as last round, the same as last map, and I'm hoping that's not the case. Trident on defense, which arguably they aren't looking too healthy at the moment, judging just specifically off of their half. Now, they are the master bedroom. Now, it's doable. This is the site that I've seen them win quite comfortably in the past against Nutty, so you can imagine that it is doable that they can take it back to a 7-7. We're going to go that full distance, which is I'm excited to see. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well, but this is the height of the pressure. This is the peak. This is where the boil is getting ready to boil over.
Yeah, I think, you know, this is where the real sort of mentals kick in. If you can get through this, you can get through anything. So, Trident, if they can really fight this, if they can win this next round, I think they're good to win the next one. But we saw the last time that they played this site, they played really, really well off of those C4s. You mentioned it earlier, when they push Logi, they've always got those pre-play C4s. So if you're Nutty, you got to be careful of that. And I think, you know, surely they fell to it twice. Surely where am... Oh my god, my voice.
It's a little voice, that's all good. You get a little bit of a drink of water. I'll take over for you, my guy. As there is trying to get their way. They've already got the main breach open inside of CCTV now. And the drone's just going out to see if they can spot Papa. I mean, thank you for getting the drone in the end, but good for you. You're able to remain. You're accompanied by 2 ADSs and a deployable shield. You're already getting rushed. You need to be a little bit careful. You can't hit the drones. He's up close, but no, Papa. Immediate trade to be done. Shuri finding a pick of his own back onto Ducko, which has been a prominent fragger for you. So it's a pretty good trade, I would say myself. Now you've managed to reset your defense, but look at the control that has already been forfeited by Nutty. I mean, by Trident, sorry. They've got cash control. They've got CC Garage. They can push through now and completely pressure them from construction, which has been given to them as well. Now, there is Valkyrie below. You can imagine that has a C4 ready to toss up through the hatch. So, need to be a little bit careful of your position if you so decide to sit inside of construction. Grenades are being prepped as well to be chucked onto the single door, but nothing to connect just yet. A minute 13 left, and they're just trying to set up their positions.
They're just trying to prepare for what's to come, and it's a 4v4 though. And we've seen these instances where, you know, when Trident was attacking on this site, they had 2 picks and they had all the time in the world, but when it came down to pushing through these doorways, they just weren't able to win the gunfights. And look, Zebi already shutting down Ajax there, and that's your buck off the board. So no more sort of walls going to be opened with that gadget any longer, but they're getting the pings. They've got the intel of Mute's position, and they're trying to red ping for the team, but It's a bit of a stalemate right now. 30 seconds left on the clock at 4v3. So Trident definitely have the advantage here, but they're going to be careful. Nutty are so good on their explosions, but Pew missing a little bit of those bullets, forced to reload, and then the Lion with his stride there, able to just win that gunfight with that 1 HP. But Zebi, he's the main fragger of this team. He's able to find one, Sweat to find another, triple for him. It's all left to Glut in a 1v3. 5 seconds on the clock. He's been in this situation so many times, but he can't do it. Shuri securing this last round here, and we go all the way to 15 rounds, Elijah. Who will it be, Trident or Nutty?
It is anybody's guess at the moment. Both of these teams just trading back and forth. They are each other's rivals at the moment. Nobody can guess how close this is going to be in this next round. I mean, yeah, I'm lost for words. It has been so close for both of these teams. I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know what to expect in this next round, and you know what? Trident, they have their attack side as well. This is comfortable. This time, they're not on CC, which what Nutty are really good at, holding on their defensive half against Trident. Trident, they have the comfortability on being on that attack and being on that master bedroom, which is what they have won comfortably in the past against Nutty before. So, essentially, judging just by past and judging by stats and what we've seen in this matchup specifically, is that this should technically be in Trident's favor because Nutty lost that last round. Now, Nutty have room to push back. They've got the mirror, they've got the frost match, which is what they weren't utilizing in their past. But we got to see how well that worked out for Trident on their defensive half, and they're looking to do a completely reverse and get them back for it.
You were talking about how you were lost for words. I was literally lost for words in that last round, and I'm back, you know. And I think it just goes to show that this entire matchup so far, it's just been that close and very intense. So I think this final potential round of the series, if Nutty take it or we go to the decider, either way, we've had some good rounds of Siege, but I can't wait for this last round here. But we see Trident, they're trying to take this cash CC side that we've seen both teams take every single time. They're comfortable. They want to try and go for this clear. It's pretty much a staple of clearing this part of the map, but both teams not really trying to give up a pick just yet. They're just playing it slow, playing it safe. The breach will be open in CC though, so that gives the opportunity for Trident to make their way and start pressuring this cash side, but there's just so much pressure and a lot of util to clear, so they got to play their cards right. Otherwise, they will be overwhelmed like they were, you know, previously, because you don't. Ajax, he is running that Fenrir again, and we saw how good he can utilize those Fenrir fear gadgets, so they got to be careful pushing into those.
Doing really well and clearing the utility of Nutty at the moment, and a quick aggression from both Shuri and Papa is able to clear up Ajax nice and swiftly. That's going to swing the round in your favor. Now, Squish getting a little bit of HP done in process to try to rotate himself back through into master bedroom. No kills to go out just yet. Now, you've still got 1:30 left for your execution. This is looking really well for Trident.
It definitely is, and I think, you know, I don't want to speak too soon. You know, it's 1:20. There's still a lot of time and a lot of players on the board for Nutty to have an impact on this round, but they are one man down. They Trident just got to be careful. They don't want to be caught off guard by Raindrop's position again. Once again, he's close on that con window. They need to be aware of the way that he's been playing. He's been just getting all these frags, 17 and 10 right now. And Zebi, he's been doing the same, 19 and 8. They're both still alive. Who is going to be the better of this game? 48 seconds. Everyone's just holding. Nobody wants to make a move, Elijah. I'm just so nervous.
The mute jammer is stopping them from getting open the condor at the moment as they try to set up an ace there, but they can't open it up and they can't remove him from the position that he's playing. Raindrops being a key factor into how this round will swing with 28 seconds. You can see the Trident communicating with themselves to try to get their execute timed well perfectly. Ducko will manage to hit the shot, but immediately traded back as Papa is able to clean up Ducko in turn. Now Zebi's got to find a pick for himself. It's a 4v2, a 4v1, a 4v0. Pew! Finishing off the very last kill and giving Trident their win in the second map. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the third map of the series. Nutty Gaming, Trident, 1-1 at the moment. Who's going to get that third?
Wow. Trident once again, and Nutty, we go to that overtime, but this time Trident, they prosper. They are the better of this map. And Elijah, I did say it before we went into the second map. It's a rivals match and a rivals series. Both teams now have won each other's respective maps. You know, Nutty winning 8-6, that 1 round difference on Trident's map, but Trident on Nutty's map win 8-7. And it's just been such a back and forth series, Elijah. And I think going to this third match, I don't know whether the deciding factor that Trident coming off a win, going to that third map, that could be the very push that they need to win this skyscraper map, this third map that we will be seeing very, very shortly. But my heart's racing. Luckily, I'm in good shape. Otherwise, you know, I might need to go to the ER or something. But wow, what a performance from both teams. So.
I mean, Pulse would be able to see you from so far away with that cardiac sensor, the way that both of our hearts are racing under the complete pressure that Trident and Nutty have just given us. Only on map 2, still a BO3 left, and our third map we'll be going to is Skyscraper. So just look at it so far, just so close for both of these teams. A rival game, like you said yourself. So, I mean, let's not waste too much time. I say so myself, and we'll go to the Skyscraper just as soon as we can. But before we head off for yet another 5-minute break for you guys to maybe get able to drink for yourselves, both of these teams, to discuss what they need to do before they head into Skyscraper, do you have any more words to say, KJ?
I don't know, just bring it on. Bring more of that siege action. And, you know, Skyscraper, a map that we haven't seen too much of. I think it's definitely going to be a good one to end us of this series. So I'm definitely keen for it. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get to this break. Let's get into the action very, very shortly. But until then, you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the third map of today, Trident versus Nutty. We've already seen two very close and high respective games of Oregon and Clubhouse, and now we get to move to the third map of Skyscraper, which, my god, what both of these teams have put on for display for us is just crazy. But, I mean, before we get into any more talk about Skyscraper, I'm Elijah Hutz.
And I'm KJ Assassin, and we're going to be doing this last map here, and I think it's definitely going to be good. I think, you know, the fact that we've gone to overtime both games so far, I think going into map 3, it's anybody's game, and like you've mentioned, you're going to mention soon, Elijah, that both these teams, they haven't touched this map at all, and they usually ban it. What's all the info with that?
Yeah, I mean, like, Trident, they have banned Skyscraper 5 times, and Nutty have banned it 4 times. So both of these teams don't typically like Skyscraper, but in a BO3, you have to sort of pick your bans wisely, and yeah, that is why this is the decider. Now, in terms of how I think that this is going to go, now, we know Trident. We've seen them win over and over again. We've talked to their coach, and we know that their coach is really well. And just based off of that, we know that Trident are really good at VOD reviews, getting info on their opposition team as well, and utilizing that in their favor to collect themselves their win. But there is no info for both of these teams on Skyscraper. Both teams have never played it. They haven't been able to share any information either side, so it's anybody's guess on how this round will go. I mean, there's no info, none at all.
Well, we don't really have too much info either for, you know, Skyscraper. We've only seen it be played by Banners and Panics, so it'll be good to see another team play it. But like you've mentioned, neither team have played it. Neither team has info on each other. It's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a, you know, a wild card as such. So I'd be keen to see us get into this. And the fact that so far in the playoffs, Elijah, this is our first deciding map in all the series that have been played so far. We've had 2-0 series every single time. This is the first one where it's going to this third map, so I bet it's going to be interesting. But first ban to come off will be that Flores, just so strong in clearing those shields. And on a map like Skyscraper, you can waste a lot of time with those shields, so why not ban it off?
Dokkaebi to follow up as the second attacker ban as well. And on a map like Skyscraper, like you said, so Flores really strong, Dokkaebi just as strong, especially for those lurk potentials. And there are so many sites where you want to try to extend yourselves for those lurks. I mean, there's not only the exhibition and office, but there's the tea and karaoke as well, where usually you'll have one player maybe in terrace or shrine. For the other side, you'll have one below, potentially trying to get a C4, possibly. Try to stop someone from utilizing those frag grenades heavily into exhibition. So those Dokkaebi calls, they could have helped out the attacker side. Thankfully, you get rid of it. Now, last 2 bans to follow up, though, Azami and Mirror. Both denial in terms of being able to hide comfortably behind a reinforced object. They will be removed. No keeper barriers, no black mirrors. Adding it to just nothing but secured and Pika's advantage gunfights.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think, you know, Azami and Mirror being off the board, that means that there's a lot of opportunity for Solus and Valkyrie to be in play. So heavy intel, but for the most part, Trident aren't going to run that. So they're going to run, you know, carries that they're a little bit more comfortable on. And some of them that we saw from that previous round where they're running that Vigil, which we don't get to see a lot of anymore. But Zebi, you know, he definitely did some damage in the last round. I think he got 20 kills in that last map, Elijah. So definitely going big. So why not let your star player from the map prior play whatever he'd like. But we're on that T karaoke side, and I think they've got some util to deny these walls from being open. So definitely some good idea. Maybe those new jammers will be in hand on those doorways to stop any drones from coming through. But I guess we'll see how they're utilized best. But I'm keen to get into it. They've got running that knock, though. That Squish is running knock, and they're bringing a Monty. So this is the first time we're seeing a shield being played, and on a map like Skyscraper, trying to clear the map, it's definitely going to help you a whole lot more.
Now, I feel like I've seen this sort of attack before, and it was Panic versus Bandits. Skyscraper, I believe. They tried to go for this exact sort of take. Zebby, thankfully, winning out the very first shot, clearing out Ducko, which was the prominent fragger in both of the last maps that you've placed on. So you put yourself in a really good position. Now, like I was saying though, I've seen this attack happen before, this sort of push with a shield, ace charges as well, and you've dedicated yourself towards that black stairs balcony, utilizing those ace charges on those double walls. Now, Panic did this before, and it didn't work out well against Bandits, but hopefully they can utilize it well against Trident. But they've got so much util, and they're dedicating it really wellfully as well. Zebby finding the second kill in his round to ease up things just that much more, and that's going to take it down to a 3v5 with still a minute 40 left. Squish is trying to clear him out.
They're both using their little jammers to lurk and crawl around the map, but Squish, he's going to push in. He sounds like he's going to be a little bit louder for Vigilus. He's standing still, but Pew able to find Gluttony. It's all falling apart for the attack of Nutty right now, and Zebby, he's just laying in wait. Raindrops is here with the shield, but is he aware of the Vigil there? Is Vigil just going to sort of keep his position unknown to the entire team, but the pings are going out, and Squish is going to find him. That is Vigil off the board. That's one way to kick things off. They still have a lot of work to do, though. 2v4 and 1 minute 10 on the board. They are aware of that play. You do have nades in hand, but half his HP is going to be taken out, and it's all left to them here in this top black position. Can they do it, Elijah?
And they're going to have to rely on the shield, but there's not enough room for you to work with. And Papa and Shuri will clean it up to an almost flawless round, but you lost one player early on. Trident looking very, very comfortable to a good start of Skyscraper.
Yeah, obviously they get to have that, you know, comfortable position of being on that defense first. Definitely favors the defense if you play it right. If you run down that time and stop them clearing the map specifically on that side, you definitely can get some rounds up your sleeve. But, you know, this game, it has a switching point. So if you can get more rounds on this defense so that when you're on the attack, you have less rounds to win, definitely going to work out in your favor. But they got to ensure that a team like Nutty can't find any momentum, because when they do, they are quite dangerous. So I'd imagine they'd have an answer very, very shortly. And I think Raindrops being not on a shield operator can do some damage. He was the top fragger for them last game. Getting him onto a gun will definitely be more viable, I'd like to say, Elijah.
10 seconds to go.
I liked that first round for Trident. I feel like they were really, really strong, and Nutty, they're looking to go on a little bit of a comeback now. I feel like getting T and Karaoke out of the way first, so you can go to Exhibition. Comfortable, you secure yourself that first round win, but oh, Zebby. Early pick onto your buck, Ajax, removing that soft destruction, which could be crucial for Exhibition. We've seen players over and over again use that skeleton key to go into that bedroom and just tear up the floors from beneath to funnel them out of those positions. You're not going to be able to do that this time, and it looks like they're going to have to change up to a plan B as they're pushing this geisha first, maybe going from drum across.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to clear the map and sort of clear any roam that Trident may be doing, but Zebby doing so well to find these opening picks and already, you know, having his impact on this map so far. So if he can continue to do this, Trident are going to find more round wins. But 1 minute in the round now, and Nutty, they're just sort of making their position on the map known. They've got this Yana here near Shrine, ready to push in, but oh my god, Raindrops spotting out Taz, and he sort of got caught off guard, but they are pinging these were my discs to ensure that that doesn't get caught by a nade, and hopefully that Trident can hold on. It's back to that 4v4 though, halfway in the round, and no breaches have been open, but they have this side of the map, Elijah, and all these walls are open, so they're sort of stuck on side. They're a little bit choked out.
And they've given themselves a lot of pressure by opening up all of these walls as well, because it's just fundamentally a kill box. You need to be a little bit careful of every single position and movement that you make. A C4 will be blown in process, but nothing serious to connect onto any of the HP of Squish, and it will still remain into a 4v4 situation. Now, they're both just trading for blows at the moment as the time ticks down slowly and narrowly. They're doing good in terms of using their util. Sweat is able to ease things up a little bit more as he's able to collect an explosion from Trident. Will leave Glut completely fumbled now as he tries to pick up another kill for himself, but Shuri will end it nice and easy, and they will take a second round win in a row. Trident looking ever so strong, and already third round in, Nutty want to secure their timeout.
Oh, that's not a good sign, using it so early. Maybe they just want to deny the momentum. They've never been in this situation before, because I'm pretty sure, Elijah, Nutty have won the first round of both the prior maps. So maybe, and Trident, they've already been in a 2-round lead at the start of the game. So it's not the same story that we've seen in the previous 2 maps. It's already something new, something fresh. So Nutty, they're a little bit worried about it. So they want to shut it down early and fix the mistakes, so that they can win some rounds of their own. But the thing that we also need to mention is that going to this third map, some of these players on both teams could be getting tired. They could be getting burned out. You know, both maps went to that overtime, so they'd be really feeling it on this map 3.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just a testament as well to which team can hold themselves up more and have that stamina to continuously play over and over again. 2 maps in a row, both very pinnacled maps in the Siege comp community. They can be tiring, especially when you're playing that many rounds in a row and you're going to the next game quickly over and over and over again. It becomes exhausting, and that's a really good test for both of these teams to see how they can hold up with that. And then we'll see if that timeout did Nutty any good as we push to the third map. Now Trident, they are forced to play the tertiary site now with that barbecue kitchen, which is a harder site to hold. So this should give Nutty the advantage that they are looking for. But if players like Zebi are just getting these early picks over and over and over again, that's something that you need to shut down. Otherwise, it's going to become a huge problem for you later on in the action phase.
You see what Zebi's using though, Elijah. He's using that M870, so no longer long-range sort of weapons. He's using a short-range shotgun. So maybe he's looking to hide in a corner somewhere and force Nutty to go into his line of sight and just fire on away. And hopefully, for Nutty's case, they can shut that down early and not be the victim of it. But it looks for the most part that they want to get this gauge to control, which for the most part, you sort of need to pressure the site, because you want to get vert and pressure those below. But we see that the ace is already opening the wall, so no wall denial to deny that from happening, but no one playing it just of yet.
I don't know what the play behind maybe giving them Geisha up for free. They've got the wall open in the first few seconds of the round. Sweat is dedicating himself to holding a drum, which 2 players of Nutty are going to contest. So that'll be the very first engagement that we look out for, as Terrace is already being made and given up control. Skeleton Key doing a lot of work and opening up those avenues as well, but you're just zooming on Oryx to get out of there as fast as you can. You get away unpunished, unscathed, as well as no HP is to be taken now. Terrace has been forfeited. They're looking to get some information into Drum, and it looks like they've given up the control there as well. So much control early on, just given up. But they know exactly where you're playing now. The red pings to go out. The proxy mines are going to reveal some for yourself as well. The C4 will be tossed. Nothing to connect. The Fenrir will do some blinding, but nobody's there to swiftly pick up the kill. Now, the global utility is going to be tossed out. They've got control of Geisha, but Sweat wet with an early pick already, will be immediately traded back as Ajax has got the positions, tries to go for the second, will do so exactly as well. Gone 6, try to confirm the kill, but you'll get the wall instead, and he will remain down for now. Nadako will hit the confirm though, and take it to a 3v4. Now, this is different for Nutty. It is now swinging in your favor for the first time in these last 2 rounds. Third round now, you're looking good.
Yeah, but Ajax, he is quite low, and it looks like, for the most part, Trident, they have all these positions that they can still play. Not all the vert is being done. It is a little bit late. They are getting spotted out by that Yana clone, but Pew, he's staying here safe in this reception bar sort of area, and he's looking at the bird, and he finds the head of Squish just narrowly through those bars, but they're going to start to open up this barbecue and walk right into the side. But are they aware of this player watching this barbecue door? Ducko, he's not looking the right way. He thinks there's one bar. He has to reload. Shuri with the swing. He will confirm the kill. And now we're down to a 2v2, 17 seconds on the clock. Ajax is low. Gluttony's full HP, but he's getting down to that low HP as he gets shot from the player of Pew on those stairs. And it's just a kill box for them now as Ajax will fall. 1v1. Glut finds the pick on the Pew. It's all left to Shuri as he's forced to push. And Gluttony has to stick, and Shuri finding another kill in the round, and that brings us to this 3-0 lead for Trident now, Elijah.
And now it's all smiles on the side of Trident as they are feeling really comfortable moving into their third map in a 3-0 lead at the moment. And you can tell the pressure is just setting in from all of the players onto Nutty Gaming. Now they're tired and they're not looking like they're really prepared going into this third map as much as Trident are. And you just losing these last few rounds, you can imagine that's just going to get to them even more.
Yeah, the thing about this is that with this now, Trident, they've done a perfect rotation of the sites. They know how Nutty are going to attack each time they play this site. So now they can have a little bit more of adaptation if they want to, and sort of adjust their positions accordingly and adjust their util accordingly. But Nutty, they can also do the same. They know how Trident is playing it, but the thing is they're on the receiving end. They're on the losing end of those rounds. So now they're forced to adapt, forced to change and sort of be aware of what Trident's doing to at least find another round here. Otherwise, if they let too many of these defense rounds go, when they go into the defense, it might just not be enough to hold on to. You know, too much to ask for.
Well, the intel to the defaults that is providing just what operators are bringing. Ducko connecting the very first kill in the round. This time, it isn't Trident to find that very first pick, and already getting control of this bathroom downstairs is fundamental in how the round will be played. You've got control, and you're ready to utilize the frag grenades that are in your pockets as well. Now, hopefully, Nutty Gaming can get their drones and information in. Maybe they can get some vertical kills through to those grenades, but at the moment it looks like some of the players are rotating themselves back into the site so they don't lose these early on members, try to play these trades for the rest of the round.
Yeah, they're starting to open up these walls though, so Trident are going to be careful of them extending so far and so deep into this side of the map, because if they get caught out, they will lose another man and then they'll be in a deficit even more, and that's going to cost them. But Yana going to push right on through. I think that's the clone though, so not all is too scary, but she is pushing in now. But the Gone 6, it hit directly onto it, but it didn't sort of do anything. But the nade is going to have to be wasted to take it out, but it didn't do anything.
No!
The invincible BP.
I'm using that in my games though, and you can't get rid of that bulletproof. I mean, is that a bug? A grenade and a Gong 6 directly? Didn't even deal with it at all. It's just... That's a Sigma BP right there, man.
It really is, but 1 minute, it can't stop, you know, bullets from going to the side of it, so Ducko finally does clear it, but some wasted utility and wasted time on just a BP. Obviously, it's a little bit, you know, unfortunate that it is a little bit bugged, maybe, but for the most part, good play from Trident. 50 seconds on the board, though, and Nutty, they got to start to open up onto this side. Otherwise, they will find them victim to these shots and these players of Trident holding it down. And that's Ducko down for the count. So now we're back to this 4v4 and they're sort of splitting their attack. But Raindrop's not able to find the Cade just yet. But he finds two onto the Warden and the Cade. I don't know how he's managed to do that. But Taz there with the trade. But Squish to find the trade back onto Shuri. It's all left to Taz in a 1v3. He has to ace to Wit. But no, Squish able to shut him down. And Nutty, they find their first round on the board for them, but wow. I think that engagement there with Raindrops, if he didn't win that, it could have swayed a little bit differently.
Absolutely. They had that main stairs control. They had just that geisha control as well. Out of nowhere, Raindrops finding two out of completely nothing. He was tunnel visioned on Cade alone, and for some reason Warden just couldn't pick him up, and it just all fell apart from there. If he was able to win out that engagement, he had a potential room for flanking the person who was trying to get that diffuser down and potentially getting not one but two kills for himself, as they sort of fanned out. They weren't really playing for those long range fights anymore. They were playing pretty close, but that's a misplay. That's a real hard misplay for Trident, so they're going to need to work on that this round specifically. Hopefully you don't lose that early frag before. BP will be making a return, KJ, to the same spot.
Well, I don't think it'll be invincible this time. They know that they can shoot it if worse comes to worse, but it is in that same spot. I wonder if they'll try and dedicate any utility to it again, but we're seeing Ducko. He's going to switch off that Yana. He's going to go to that knock. We've seen the sort of plays from Knock today. I wonder if he can do some damage on that as the same as he's been doing on that Yana, but I'd imagine that Zebi, he's going to try and play a little bit safer this time, because he was the opening pick last time, and that resulted in his team losing. So maybe if he's alive, he's a little bit more useful to his team. I definitely think he would be. But a little bit of a cheeky run out from Sweat is going to reveal his position. See more to go out, though. That almost was the play. He would have found Ducko if Ducko wasn't so aware of it. But Sweat, he's going to take some damage from that terrace. He's got to be careful. But Shuri finding the pick onto Ajax, and that's your buck. Dead and down for the count once again, and he's having a little bit of a rough one being on that buck, but Trident, they find the opening pick, Elijah, and we've seen how that sort of goes. Let's hope that they can hold that man count lead.
Well, it's a really good start getting that very first pick, because it is on your buck, and your buck had those can openers. So now you're forced to utilize these ace charges on opening up this office and exhibition to get control of that, when last time you were relying on those can openers. So now you've lost one ace charge. Need to be a little bit careful of the position. Raindrops losing a little bit of HP in the process, but he remains unconfirmed. Just scathed a little bit, maybe a scraped knee here and there, but not too much HP to be taken off of him.
Yeah, he's a runner. He's a track star, though. He definitely was able to run out of that one. But once again, they're met with this BP. They're pinging it. They know how much of a pain it was last time. But Ducko, he's just letting his little Hell gadget there, you know, recharge so he can sneak past this BP and maybe get a pick and catch this side of Trident off guard. But I'd imagine that they're aware of his position, but he's got a little peek here. Jaeger just edging the hole a little bit, but not doing anything just yet.
I'm amazed. That was so close to me. I thought that was going to be it for Shuri, but for sure, he will remain fine and unscathed yet. He's going to go for a little bit of a swing, though. Nothing to connect, as you've already rotated back onto the balcony. Try to see if you can reposition yourselves. 38 seconds still. C4 to be thrown outside of Geisha. Nothing to connect, though. Raindrops found himself in, but Pew will find the kill before he's immediately traded. Now that takes it down to a 4v3. Main stairs player still remains up. Sweat will find the pick onto Squish. And now you're on a 4v2. A stalemate between Ducko, and he'll be able to find the down. No, the headshot instead. Ducko will hit it, but not before Papa is able to get it onto Rain. Now a 3v1 situation. You're left in a 3v2 as you get the shot onto Papa. You've got no diffuser in your hands. The deagle's out, but Shuri's shot is it first.
That definitely looked a little bit scary when he found two. If he knew the positions, he could have made it, you know, do something, but unfortunately he was not aware of the Jaeger in there, and Trident, they find themselves another round here, Elijah, and now they're on that 4-1 lead. Now, that's a very, very good position, regardless of this next round's outcome. So, if they can secure this 5th round for them, they can definitely be on their way to securing that victory. But if it's a 4-2, it's a little bit more doable for Nutty. I think, you know, a 4-2 split on Skyscraper is not all that bad. So, if Trident can close this out, secure this could be their map.
I'm lost. I'm trying to think, how well did it turn out for them last time they played Exhibition and Officers?
Well, they won it.
Of course, yeah. But how
they won it. It all came down to, I mean, Nutty. They pushed from the other side of the map. They weren't able to get the walls open, or they didn't even try to get the walls open. But Zebi, obviously, last time they played this, was able to find the opening pick. And then it all, yeah, to the Bucks. So I guess for the most part, it just seems that the opening picks win the rounds for this map at the very least. So I think if Zebi can stay alive and sort of make his presence known to the side of Nutty, they're definitely going to be wary of him.
Well, it looks like they're changing up their initial take this time, and thankfully, is that the cave that they had set up there ready for them? Because you've denied one of Ace's charges already, and now he's only got 2. You've still got the can openers as well, which I guess that can be a huge help in terms of whether you are choosing to open up the top house wall, or you're looking to open up the main wall, which you need to get one of the 2, unless you decide to push from drum across, which is what you guys did last time, and then judging by past experiences, it didn't work out. So, I mean, you can try it again. Maybe you can fix up your mistakes, but you need to be a little bit careful if doing so. And it looks like that is what they're dedicating to do. They're trying to clear out Shuri, which the information of his position has been rotated amongst Nutty, and they know that he's dedicated there. And luckily for timing as well, you're able to catch Sweat up, trying to regain that control.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, Elijah, but Raindrops actually wasted one of those EMPs on that wall on top house, that god wall. He actually wasted one and didn't deny the Cade Claw, so he's only got 1 EMP in hand, but he's able to find the head of Cade, but a trade from Zebi back. But Ducko, he actually got injured as well, so both nice shots from either side here, but we're back to this 4v4. Ducko will be picked back up. He is on that 20 HP, but definitely can still pack a punch if he plays with his team. But the push is just coming from this side. They can't really do anything else from the walls because they only have 1 EMP. Thatcher is available, Elijah, so I don't know why they're not utilizing that, but they're confident with this push from this west side.
Something from both aspects of it. They don't utilize Thatcher, and also on the side of the defense, they never really utilize any denial in terms of Goyos, smokes, or even Tachankas as well. But we're seeing it unfold before our eyes. It's just a trade back and forth from both Trident and Nutty. They take it down to a 3v3 as Sweat is able to pick up the kill onto Raindrops. But Ducko is really low HP compared to the last 3 players of Trident. Now, Sweat and Zebi, they'll find a pick for themselves and leave it all for Squish. He'll be able to pick up 1 in due turn, try to look for the second, but the pre-fires is just peppering for damage at the moment. And they're fanning out their defense to see if they can get a little bit of a crossfire set up. Now, the diffuser is not in his hands. All they need to do is waste for time at the moment for Trident. And Squish is trying to look up the pick. He finds 1. The Thorn is going to try to collect some damage for himself, but he's gone back downstairs to try and find the pick. Sweat is going to play the time, and there is none left.
That is a good play for Trident. They played it safe. He didn't take the engagement. He just stuck in that behind that statue and did not peek. Well played to them for playing that diffuser, and well played to them for having a very, very successful defense half. 5-1 for them. 1 round away from that match point if they win 1 on attack, and 2 away from taking that victory on this map 3, Elijah. So, Nutty, they've got some work to do. They have to win 4 rounds in a row if they want to deny Trident any chance of getting that match point at the very least, but they need to stop them from winning it entirely. So, being this sort of score difference, does Nutty have it in them to sort of band together now on the switch up? Because they don't have another timeout available to them. They used it 2 rounds in. Trident, they have another timeout available to them if things go wrong. So let's hope that both teams on this switch up have a good grip on the game.
Well, at the moment, Trident, things are looking so well for them that they haven't even needed to really consider their timeout just of yet. So luckily they do have it, because we've seen in the past when Trident are down and they need a second and they utilize their timeout, usually like 9 times out of 10 when they come back again to rethink about things, their approach on stuff has taken a huge shift. And so in the end, I feel like personally, after they've taken a little bit to talk to their coach, they always come back stronger. They haven't even needed it this yet. So they have that ability to them. And Trident, on common maps that we've seen them play, like I said, they are an attack-sided team. This time they get the attack side. I mean, it's just clear-cut image there for you. It's cookie-cut.
It definitely is, but I think when they do have those timeouts, I mean, who wouldn't be motivated if you got to see Sali talk to and hear Sali's voice, you know? I'd be pretty motivated as well, so, you know, I don't blame Trident. Yeah, it is. But no timeouts to come of yet, so they haven't heard his lovely voice in a little while, but a repel here, but Ajax able to cross just narrowly with his life.
He's a zoomy boy.
He's a runner, but
Glut,
he's on these house stairs and he almost finds Sweat. He's left to the very last bits of his HP, and Glut's just going to rotate back, not willing to contest that any longer. But we're almost halfway in the round, and Trident, they haven't really found all that much control, the same as Nutty does around this sort of checkpoint.
Yeah, they're slowed down a lot more, but I feel like this is where Trident like to be. They are a very slow team and sort of getting information, which can be it can be the best of them, or it can be the downfall, and we're seeing that come into effect as already the first blood has been given as Zeb falls to the likes of Nutty Gaming. Now, Sweat, relatively low HP, is not the position that you want to be on. The Candelas will roll out amongst the frag grenades as well to see if you can clean up a member, but the deployable shield will remain up, and no kills to go out just yet. Now, 46 seconds left. Pew has rotated himself back for this geisha push amongst the teammate who is trying to take control of Drum. Now, Drum has been forfeited successfully as well. In the site, you'll see that Raindrops has fallen of his own. Now, main stairs and below is a very hard aspect to deal with. You need to clear out those positions as they're trying to retake and support each other. Ducko will be able to clean up Shuri, though, and that'll take it down to, yet again, a more definitive side for Nutty. A 5v2. 15 seconds. It's all falling apart for Trident, and a flawless round to begin Nutty's reign.
That is definitely what Nutty need to go onto this defense. A flawless round for them. Definitely could be the catalyst in the making. Maybe this is their road to come back. I mean, we've seen them in previous matches in the regular season, Elijah, where they were losing so badly, and then they were able to come back when the time called for it. But I'd imagine Trident, you know, first round on the attack, you sort of get a feel for the way that you're playing on that attack, as well as how your opponent is playing on that defense. And, you know, with Karaoke, it's a little bit harder. I'd like to say then work exhibition, because if you can open up this wall for work exhibition, you're pretty much on the side, and from there you just need to work together to find the picks on the side. And sometimes you go below, sometimes you push from the other side of the map. It's all left to you with that choice, but you still have to meet that step one of actually being able to open up this wall. So K-Claws you will have to deal with, but you do have Thatcher available, so I wonder if they're going to be utilizing that, or if they're going to switch off it like Zebby's doing to the Lions. So neither team wanting to use this Thatcher. I don't quite know why.
Maybe they are feeling confident enough that they can just utilize and rely directly and solely on those two EMPs, which it's very 50-50 on. Now, I know Trident, they're really good at getting that information without Nutty reading into it, but hopefully they have got enough room, and maybe Nutty are unpredicting their drone placements. They are able to find those 2 Cade spots, which you can imagine traditionally a lot of players like to have one on that office desk, like just behind it, and the other one sits on the barbecue bar type thing, the little bar that sits there. I don't actually know what the name of it is, but it's good.
It does, but it looks like Trident is sort of surrounding the players of Nutty and Ajax. He's going to be the first to fall, and that's your Fenrir off the board. So Shuri opening up the round, going so big so far. He's 7-3, so definitely being a staple for this skyscraper map, and that means that they can slow things down a bit. It's only been a minute into the round, and they already have that man advantage, so they're just going to be careful of pushing this player in drum here. But he's going to rotate away. He's going to take some damage, but they're able to get away just with his life intact. But they did miss the Cade in there. I don't quite know if they spotted Ducko in that corner just of yet, but they're going to be wary of him. I think he's rotated away now, so no more sort of cheeky plays to be done by him. And Raindrops, he's going to fall back to this top house. But Taz is going to fall victim to Squish as all these walls are open. You got to be careful of these long angles. And this line's going to be careful of Squish swinging the window as well.
He also needs to be a little bit wary of the frost mats that will remain underneath that window that you are solely relying on potentially getting open. Now you've got dedicated 2 of the 4 members that you have left for this top house. Now you're able to open up the wall thanks to the control being given as well. It's just that much easier that you've got that shrine control. Now there is still a player in there that you still need to clear. Fragger needs to be thrown, but the Wamai discs are making it so hard for Trident to clear Raindrops off of this position that he is just wasting so much time. There's still 44 seconds left. Top house has been open, exhibition has been worked, and they're trying to get their kill box working, but Raindrops is just being the pinnacle of this defense by stopping them from getting control of this dragon thanks to this pixel peek that has been given to him. Sweat can't do anything. 20 seconds left. Ace charge is still being blown now. Pew taking a little bit of damage in turn, but trying to go for the refrag. The deployable shield is there for support, but Pew will go for the refrag and find 2 for himself on top of house stairs. There is still one inside a dragon you need to clear. Ducko's got the support that is looking inside of the terrace. 2 players are there as well. 3 of them all stacked up. He finds one, finds the second, but Sweat will finish the third, and they'll collect themselves another win. Trident being so dominant.
It was looking rough there, but they played the trades well. They had the man advantage 3v1, but when it came down to clearing out Raindrops, when it came down to clearing those players near those top house stairs, they played it so well. He was able to find 2 with that position there and catching them off guard. And Trident, Elijah, they lock in match points. So now, Nutty, they have to have back-to-back wins now. Otherwise, this is GG. This is the series done and dusted, and that is Nutty knocked out of the playoffs entirely.
Trident, they're looking so good in this third map. From what was a struggle from both of these rivaling teams, just going back and forth, it seems like that Nutty have just lost their footing and they might be a little bit exhausted in this BO3. Trident looking like they're still ready to go. They're still excited. Yeah, they've still got that mental sitting nicely and prepared, and you can just tell on the side of Nutty, it is not the same. You can tell single-handedly that all the caps, the hats that Glut had has been removed, so he's feeling the pressure now.
He still has the one. He's got the good old construction cat one there, so he's focused in. He wants to win this game, and he wants to stay in this playoff, so they're all focused and locked in, and they got some work to do if they want to have any chance to make this idea come to fruition. But 4 rounds, it's definitely doable, but you got to have the mental fortitude to be able to get there in the first place. And obviously Trident, not only are they winning just in this map alone, they did come off a win off of the last map, so maybe that's what's coming into play for the most part here for Trident, and they're just looking so good so far. And can they continue their reign here on Skyscraper?
Two already being forfeited. Trident finding 2 this early on in just the first few seconds is not where you want to be on match point, and that's your Fenrir and your Frost already removed. Now the Frost mats can be placed down. It still can be an issue for Trident, but this is not where you want to be on match point.
No, losing 2 and losing it in the first minute, like I get that you're trying to catch Trident off guard and you're trying to find these picks, but it's just not working for them. And being on this match point, you don't want to be able to lose those lives so early. You want to be able to run down the clock and play together, and they definitely did not do that. And now it can ultimately cost them this game. And Trident, they're closing in. They're ready to shut down their prey and make sure they have no room to breathe very, very shortly. Ducko, his wall is being opened, and looks like Taz, he's going to start to put these incandelas here in Shrine to blind anyone in its wake. But bit of shots to come out. He does take some damage, but his candelas have all been used, and Gluttony's playing these top house stairs here. Maybe to back up Raindrops. Ducko to kick things off and try and keep his team still in this. Gluttony trying to keep his team in this as well as he finds Shuri. Raindrops to find Sweat, and it's definitely not over for Nutty. Zebby to fall as well. Gluttony holding it down. Pew, last one left. 1v3. Ducko is low. Raindrops on about half HP almost, but can he do it? Does he have it in him to clutch it out for his team?
Well, the C4 just being that much pressured. He can't jump through it without it getting detonated. There's one top house. There's one inside a dragon as well, ready to pick him up. The shotgun from Glut will remain up, and Nutty will be able to secure themselves another round. It's not over yet. We'll continue this going into round 10.
This is something. You know, Trident, they've lost one round here, but they want to make sure that they can secure this win. I think good decision here. You know, that was a pretty bad choke on their part. They had that 2-man advantage, and then they weren't able to find any of the 3 that remained. They didn't clear them out or sort of prioritize who they wanted to take out next. So for them, this time out, it's a bit of a reset. It's a bit of, you know, why did we allow that to happen, and what can we do in this next round to fix it? So hopefully they can do some sort of wonders here and end it in this next coming round. Otherwise, you let Nutty get the momentum, and we could be seeing this overtime game in map 3 as well. And if we go to overtime, Elijah, fatigue would be huge for all the players involved. It doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. I think overtime map 3, like, everyone would be feeling it, and it's really who has the more stamina. And I think so many silly plays will happen because everybody's just so tired. We don't know the sort of days that everyone's had today. It's a weekday. They could have worked, could have had a long day, and now they've had a long, hard fight at Siege as well with their respective teams. Who's gonna take it?
It could just be anybody's guess, really. I mean, you gotta hope that you don't let that get to your mental, Trident, just that last round, because the window was given to you. The opportunity was huge. A 5v3, you ended up choking it in the end. You can't let that get to you. So hopefully that timeout did you some justice. From past experiences, Trident usually come back strong after their timeouts, after they've had a good little talk with each other to fix their mistakes. And we'll be able to see that come into effect, hopefully, as Trident, they still remain 3 rounds above Nutty. And this time they're on the attack. They've switched over, which is good, which is what their strong suit is. No! Pew!
Oh no. The ace, Selma charge, and the cage trick from Raindrops. He's been doing so well on that K, not just in the frag department, but in terms of denying this sort of wall from being opening on a lot of maps. It must be a comfortable operator for him, and he's doing very well for it, and that can definitely help you and your team win this round by delaying the side of Trident and denying that util from coming into effect. So hopefully Trident, they can prosper and push past this sort of push and maybe adapt, because I think they're trying to go for a Geisha sort of take here, or at least put pressure on Geisha like they did last time. But if they can't open the wall, definitely going to be a lot harder to pressure anyone playing inside of it.
Looks like they might be heading back instead of dedicating to it. They do really well fundamentally, going from this exhibition across Shuri downstairs, clearing out this master bedroom. He has one frag grenade still in his pocket to use as well, so there is potential that he can find a pick, even things up, make it easier for their push, because those early frags usually 9 times out of 10 they are huge in terms of which team is going to win. Now they're able to finally open up Geisha as well, use another and the very last ace charge onto the single wall, but that's going to be shot out. Now first pick to go out on the side of Nutty, as Ajax is able to connect the kill onto Papa Taz. Now he's still remained on top of Shrine to try to find yet another kill, but Sweat is there for the return. Squish with a refrag onto Pew, though, will take it down to a 3v4. With 55 seconds left, Squish is looking to get active.
Yeah, I think with, you know, Trident playing the way that they are, Nutty playing the way that they are, Nutty, they've finally found the way that they want to play this. They're finding the trades where necessary, and now they're being put into that man advantage. To Trident, they need to find these picks and these trades of their own if they want to secure this round or secure the future rounds. Zebby, I think a call is going to be coming in for him to push up these main stairs whilst the rest of his team sort of work out what they want to do. But Lion scans to go out. Raindrops is aware of his position. And now it's 20 seconds left. And Shuri and Sweat have to do it all. Sweat finds his second. Shuri finds his own. But Raindrops finds one. Now down to a 1v1. As Shuri is the one to do it. 8 seconds on the clock. Raindrops low HP. But he secures it with a headshot with the TCSG. And we're back for more rounds. Nutty, they've found 2. Can they find another 2? Elijah, this is looking scary for Trident. They've taken the time out. But can Nutty prevail? Can they continue to push through this deficit?
6-4 match point. Trident just need to win one single round before they can collect up their win against Nutty. But Nutty aren't having any of it. They've won 2 rounds in a row of what looks like it wasn't going to be the case. It has come down to 1vs every single time. But this time, it's going to be that much harder as you're forced to play that tertiary site. This is the harder site to hold amongst the few selections that you've got. Now, Trident being on that match point, this is looking dire for Nutty. You're forced to hold the tertiary site on a match point where the pressure is peak. You can't make a mistake.
You definitely can't. No mistakes can be made. You've already forfeited that by allowing Trident to get that match point. Now, Trident, they get to be comfortable knowing that if they lose the following 2 rounds, they still have the overtime to work with. But Nutty don't have that same privilege. But for Trident, you don't want to go to overtime. You don't want to give Nutty the chance. You have 2 rounds to have the opportunity to win. You need to find it here. If you allow Nutty to get to that 1 round away, I feel like Trident, they're just going to let it slip. And if you go to overtime, the mentals, and like we talked about before, the stamina would just not be there. But we see Trident, they're already making use of this horizontal control, and they've already taken bedroom and this bottom house. So they're in delivery. They are castled off, so they do have to open up these castles if they want to start to pressure anyone close to the site. But they had been given that for free, so maybe if they continue to push through there, they can find some picks on the site, and maybe they don't even have to get this vert control.
I mean, they're doing really good for time at the moment. I believe the Gon 6 that Lion has in the secondary just dealt with the very first castle that was in their checklist as well. So he's already opened up that small little avenue that can help him contest the site directly. Now, the information that he has on this player is huge. Hopefully he can utilize the repel, but he narrowly misses the shot, and Raindrops will remain unscathed and still adding that phantom pressure inside of Geisha. But the drone, it will remain up, and the information will stay shared, so they know exactly exactly where Raindrops is playing now. He is supported by Ducko, which has been playing so well in terms of frags, so you need to be a little bit wary of him. Now, getting him removed is a huge statement to make. Now, Raindrops is still holding this Geisha. He wants to play his life here, as having this vertical control this late on is so important. He's got an angle as well downstairs into kitchen, which could become a huge problem for this player on Repel, so you need to hope you don't expose him to that, as Gone Sixes do some more work on top of these castles. Now it looks like they're going for a horizontal across, as they can't really get control of vertical right now. But Zebi is looking to get those yellow pings up, as he needs to deal with that soft wall. That'll open up yet again another path for him potentially deal with. If he knew that he was there, he could shoot him, but they don't have the info.
But does Nutty know of his position? Because if he can walk onto the site, that could be deadly. But Ducko, he's going to be opening up the round for his team and able to shut down Shuri. Gluttony to find Zebi, though, as well. So it's all falling apart for Trident, but they do find 2 picks of their own. And now we're back to a 3v3. Plant is going to go down in the kitchen window. Taz to find a pick above on the vert. Gluttony's on low HP. Squish is on full, but can they have the potential to retake the top floor? Squish takes out Taz, unaware of him flanking. And now we're back to even Steven on the retake. Pewter shut down him, and now it's all left to Squish to find not 1 kill, but 2. Is it doable? 33 seconds on the clock. The diffuser is down. He's got to find these positions. He's got to find the heads of at least 1 to secure it, but Sweat! And that's Trident taking map 3, Elijah. That is it, done and dusted. Trident win the series. GG's to Nutty and Trident. What a game.
A huge BO3 for Trident to make a statement against Nutty Gaming. A very hard fought BO3, and you gotta hand it to all of the boys at Trident for pulling it together. Now, my god, that was insane. I did not think that Skyscraper was going to be that pulled apart, but looks like the stamina of Trident is just so strong, and they'll take that win 7-4.
Yeah, they'll take it 7-4 and secure themselves to continue through that lower bracket of the playoffs, and they'll be feeling good about that one, but they would definitely be feeling a little bit tired. And I think, you know, Sali, who's the coach watching it all unfold, he would be... I think he said in the chat earlier that they're taking years off his life, and I do agree, you know, putting that much pressure on your coach and almost going to overtime once again. You know, you're definitely making your coach a little bit worried, but he definitely would be happy about that win there, and the boys should definitely give themselves a pat on the back for, you know, not even if they lost that, you know, going that distance for so many rounds across, you know, in Siege alone is crazy. In the first 2 maps, going to overtime both times, and then in the third one, going to 11 rounds. That's, you know, it definitely be affecting your, you know, your mental, and as well as, like we said, we don't know the day that they've had. They could have had a full day of work, and, you know, that could definitely come into play. So, Elijah, what is your thoughts on that map as an individual map and as the game as a whole of a series? How do we feel?
I mean, that's something new to add now. This is the first time that we've seen both of these teams face off against each other, and Trident being so successful just by the looks of it. 7-4, it is just amazing. So it's something to take into account. But ladies and gentlemen, let's put a voice behind the players as we welcome the coach of Trident. Hello, Salih. Hello again, yet again. We see you over and over again. I mean, I love to see your face every single time. Trident, a very close win. It was looking dicey there for those first 2 maps, but you guys just pulled it together on Skyscraper. How are you feeling as a coach after watching that?
I can't get the grin off my face, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, I'm pretty sure I have less time to live now because of my heart and how close those games were. I was sitting there in distress with my hands in my head, and the boys kept their mental, you know, and brought it back, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah, it definitely was awesome to see, but obviously going from that map 1, that loss on Oregon, you know, 8-6, going into overtime, and then going into overtime once again on map 2 and only winning it on the 15th round. Was the boys a little bit sort of nervous? Because obviously you got to talk to them. Were they really feeling the pressure in that map too?
I think something that we've always struggled with in the past was that exact thing, right? The pressure and like not like ending up fighting amongst each other. But one thing is always nice is to get in there and like, slap them a little bit and say, hey guys, like we're not fighting against ourselves. We need to, band together and bring this in. And there's just, some plays like Sebi 1v3 on Twitch and dropping 20 on that map, right? Like that just helps the team rally behind. And I think that really was like what made them win that last round. But like they were pretty razor focused for throughout the whole sort of overtime.
It's a good testament to the coaches holding together the team, and that's exactly how you know that you do good at holding your team together. Now, 3 maps, a BO3, the stamina holding out well, and but what it looks like in the end, it looked like you guys were getting a little bit tired, a little bit restless after that map 2, but going into map 3, you guys were just so well composed. Did you guys prepare for Skyscraper at all? Because we looked at it, you guys banned it 4 times in a row now. There was no information for you guys playing Skyscraper. Was this something that you guys were prepared for?
Not against Nutty. So we thought we were going to be going to Villa, honestly. We know Nutty, while they can throw sometimes, they have a very, very solid Villa. But like Skyscraper has sort of been one of those things where we're like, oh, we actually know how to play it, but like, we don't need to show it off yet. And I think we showed like we can play that map, right? And Nutty was playing awesomely, but like our map knowledge was there.
For sure, and definitely a more comfortable win on that map, and your defense was almost flawless, a 5-1 split, so you had a little bit of wiggle room to work with on those attacks. But when the sort of momentum started to get behind Nutty, what did you say to your team in that timeout that you guys had? Because they did look sort of a little bit defeated almost.
I mean, I think the vibes are still up, but I wanted to make sure like we just close out the game overall comfortably. And the boys were like coming up with plans and things like that, but they were doing like a few silly things, like maybe mispositioning, like where certain players should be, like a ying maybe outside the window to like flash out the area on VIP and whatnot, right? Like, so like just those small things, and I was like, hey, like we know we can close it out. And yeah, it was great from all the boys. They all put in effort. It was a really good job from them.
Awesome. It was a very, very well played by you guys. I'm sure you're getting ready to celebrate and remind them that this was a really good win. So we'll let you go and do that. But before we head you off, are there any last words to say?
I was really happy to sort of like tune into the Twitch and they were enjoying the game. They were very close and entertaining games. So thanks for everyone watching. Thank you guys for casting this as long as up till 10. Like we started at 7, right? And thanks Trident again. We love the support from the boys in blue. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sally.
Awesome.
We'll hopefully see you again very soon.
See you, Sally.
What a game to have, and something to highlight specifically, KJ, is there are 2 members that we get to choose as the MVP. Well, I'm going to say is the MVP of that match. Dako and Zebi, both 38 kills altogether, tied at 38 kills. Not one player on each team being better than the other. They tied at 38. That is amazing.
That's pretty crazy. That's crazy. Definitely props to them. They put in the work, and Darko, although his team may have fallen just that little bit short, he still gets to go and take that away, that he did play well and he was able to find those kills where necessary. And I think even though Nutty lost, I think pat on the back for going that distance. I talked about it before, but Nutty, they'd be down a little bit, but props to them going all the way to map 3 and almost bringing it back too. So I think just goes to show that the competition is good between those 2 teams. And yeah, I think what a night of Siege, Elijah. What an absolute night.
I am so surprised. That was a really long night. Our very first BO3 taking us to our 3rd map. And let's go ahead. Let's have a look at our predictions that we guessed. I mean, you can look at the scores here. 6-8, Trident lost. Then they came back 2 times in a row. And our predictions here... Right. Now, you had a little bit of trouble at the first beginning of the map. Before we did our predictions, you were like, oh, I don't know whether to pick Nutty. I don't know whether to pick Trident. And I assured you that my boys in blue were going to take it. And in the end, they did. So, majority of us being right, other than Kratos and Chef Jeff. So, Chef Jeff, the king, falls himself.
Yeah, I think, you know, Chef, he probably wasn't expecting the outcome of any of those maps that we saw. So I think, you know, he definitely thought that Nutty had the win in the bag there, but he definitely didn't think it was going to be a clean sweep either. So he definitely thought that it was going to be close. So I think it just goes to show that both teams were sort of even in terms of the matchup itself. So I think Trident really, you know, going against Chef's ideas and prospering. But for the most part, we all, you know, you and Ling and myself all guessing correctly in terms of the series end result, 2-1. But yes, I was on the fence of whether Trident or Nutty would take it 2-1. I definitely think that Trident was going to win a map, but then I remembered that, you know, Blackjack, the owner of the Trident org, he talked to me and he said every time you guys cast Trident, they always seem to win it. So that's why I made the decision to go with Trident at the end of the day, and they definitely provided that for us. But that is today's game done and dusted, and we don't get to see another one for another couple of days, Elijah. So
Yeah.
any last words about the bracket and how it'll all work out?
Well, we got to see the bracket develop just a little bit more in the lower bracket now, as Trident, they were able to beat Naughty Sausages. And then our next one will be Nutty Gaming, not Naughty Sausages. Now, Trident will go up against Naughty Sausages to be the decider on who gets to verse Panic before we go into our lower bracket semifinals. Now, semifinals already being confirmed for Kill Squad and Bandits, which is a very exciting game that I am looking forward to myself. And if you guys are as well, definitely come back for that, especially for the Naughty Sausages versus Trident game on the 9th of June at 7.
Yeah, so I think that game is, I do believe, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So Trident, they have a little bit of you know, work to do before then. Obviously they have that VOD from the Kill Squad game that they can go back and watch and see how Naughty Sausages has played more recently. But the thing is, you know, they just played 3 maps tonight, and now they've got another potential 3 maps tomorrow night. Is that going to come into any sort of factor? Are they going to be a little bit tired or burnt out for tomorrow's game? I guess we will find out. But I'm keen for all these games to, you know, unfold and really show us who the better team is. And as we approach towards that grand final, I really do wonder who's going to be in it and who is going to play for that big, juicy prize pool. But before we head off and end things here, Elijah, any last words?
I think that's it for us, and I hope you guys are excited for what is yet to come. A very exciting BO3 today, and we've just got more for you tomorrow, so definitely come back for that, as I bet you it's going to be as exciting as today's was. But KJ, I think that is all of us done here, and I hope you guys have a really good night. But as always, stay hydrated, stay healthy.
Laters, guys.